in just a couple of minutes. Just got set up here.
Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your police forecast.
This Thursday morning and into the afternoon, we will see a high of 75 degrees and should be sunny. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees. Tomorrow, Friday will bring a high of 76 degrees and will be mostly sunny and breezy. Friday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. The All Year Cooling is here to serve your family.
Welcome, everyone.
And now, a true oldies traffic check.
I'll start the other stream in just a minute. I'm back at the radio station today. Got a couple of meetings up here this away today. So I had to come up to the radio station today. It feels like Friday to me. Does it feel like Friday to you? Feels like Friday to me. Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, we got a lot to cover today. Obviously, we're going to start with the plane crash in Washington, D.C., and we're going to talk about that and take your calls on it. But there's a lot of other things we're going to cover, too, including President Trump's incredible idea of sending the very, very dangerous illegals to Gitmo. And we've got so much to cover on the program today, and your calls are certainly welcome on this Thursday edition of the program. We'll be on the air in 30 seconds.
I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Here we go.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, welcome to the program, everyone. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2025. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. All right, we've got a lot to cover today. And obviously, we're going to talk in the beginning about the plane crash. And, you know, well, let me just read you what President Trump posted about the plane crash. This was on Truth Social. This is President Trump on Truth Social. The airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? Good question. Why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good. And not good, President Trump wrote in all caps with 4 exclamation marks after. You know, here's the deal. And President Trump said it. Everyone's thinking this, and I'm listening to the news. I got up early. I wanted to hear the news coverage of this, and they got this expert, this retired this former that, and they're all saying, well, it could be this, could it be foreign interference, could it be drones, could it have been some electronic interference? And they're saying everything other than what everyone's thinking. Could it be DEI? And I'm not going to apologize for asking that question. Could it be DEI? We don't know. Obviously, there are 2 people responsible for this crash. The air traffic controller seemed idiotic. But mainly, that's one. But the other one is the main person responsible, and that is the helicopter pilot, the military Black Hawk helicopter pilot. And it's not inappropriate or unfair to ask if it was DEI, and I'll tell you why. It's a military aircraft. This idiot chairman of the Joint Chiefs we have, he's an Air Force general, okay? When he first got that post as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he said that his primary focus was to make sure that there was diversity among the pilots. Not the best pilots, but all the check marks. Now, the Black Hawk helicopter pilots have not yet been identified. They got to notify families, yada, 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 and I get that. And maybe it's not. And you know what? I hope it's not. But I'll tell you this. If it is DEI, if it's a DEI pilot in that Black Hawk helicopter, all DEI pilots nationwide, military and civilian, should be grounded immediately. And, you know, it is a very fair question to ask because of what was going on. And I'll tell you another thing. The longer they go without identifying the pilots, the more you'll know. I remember when they had the terrorist attack at Fort Hood. It took them like 8 or 10 hours to tell us that it was Nadal Hassan because they were hiding that information. They didn't want us to know. They were putting it off as long as they could. It's like when I was a kid and report cards came out and I had an F and I didn't want to show it to my parents, so I didn't give it to them until someone else told them that their kid showed them their report card. Then I had to do it. You put it off for as long as you can. So I understand it's the middle of the night when this happened. It's early in the morning now. They know who the pilots are. And I'll tell you this. Let's hope and pray it was not DEI. You know, and there was something else involved because if it was, DEI needs to be canceled. Don't get me wrong. But if it's DEI, how many other aspects of our lives are in danger? You know, here's the thing. I don't like to fly. This is why. You know, when I went to California last week, you know, I made a YouTube video. If you follow me on YouTube, you see this. My plane took off at 6-something a.m. I don't remember exactly what time a week ago today. And the first thing I did is I went to the airport lounge, the American Express Airport Lounge, and I had some drinks anytime at 6 in the morning. Screwdriver. And I always drink when I fly, and I'm not a drinker, okay, except on our cruise. Because I don't like flying. I didn't mind flying until 9/11. And then after 9/11, I don't get on a plane without 3 or 4 screwdrivers. And I'm not even lit because I get so nervous about flying, it just barely takes the edge off, okay? But when I fly and have flown throughout my entire life, whether it's domestic or internationally, whenever I've flown, I always fly on American-owned airlines. And the reason I used to do that, now it's a whole nother world, but the reason I've always done that is because in the past, if you were flying on a major commercial plane, okay, a large passenger jet, and it's an American-owned airline, in the past, most of the time you would have pilots who were trained in the U.S. military, Air Force or Naval jet pilots, aviators in the Navy. And those are the best of the best. And they learn all kinds of things, okay? Like how to, if you're on a 757, they test stalling it in the air and regaining control of the aircraft and all that stuff. These commuter jets and smaller jets, I've flown on those. I don't like that. Those guys, they just go down the street to a little school and get some schooling, and all of a sudden they're flying jets. It's crazy. But I watch, I have not flown much in the last few years. In fact, when I flew to see my daughter in California for the first time, was the first time I flew in about 10 years, okay? And I watch on YouTube pilots. There's a lot of pilots that are more concerned about being YouTube stars than they are pilots. And I'm talking about pilots of big planes, 757s and stuff, all the modern stuff. And I watch these pilots, and I like to watch when they take off and land. It's interesting. But I look at who the pilots are. The pilots aren't the kind of guys we used to, in fact, they're not even guys anymore most of the time, but they're not the kind of people we used to have. And, Charlie Kirk, a couple years back, got himself in some trouble. I don't know why. Maybe it was less than that. It was last year. I don't remember what airline this was. If someone knows, let me know. There's nothing wrong with being afraid to fly. It's not natural. It's very dangerous. But one of the airline executives of one of the big American airlines, I don't remember which airline this was, last year, was it late the year before, I don't remember, he said that his priority, he's like CEO of the airline or president or something, was to have diversity among their pilots. Not the best pilots, but wanted to have his trans pilot, his black pilot, his Hispanic pilot. I don't know, it's crazy. You don't want to get on an aircraft that is flown by a DEI hire. You want to get on an aircraft that is being flown by the best pilots out there. And those used to be American trained pilots. However, we had a little bit of this with Clinton, a lot of it with Obama, and then the last 4 years it's just gone wild with Biden. They have this DEI, and DEI didn't earn it. DEI is the new name for affirmative action. They used to call it affirmative action. People don't like affirmative action. So, it's like it used to be global warming. Then, there was a blizzard at the global warming conference, so they changed it to climate change. They changed affirmative action to DEI. It's the same thing. You do not want to be on an aircraft flown by a DEI hired pilot. But that confidence that I used to have, I had a cousin who went to the Air Force Academy. He was a fighter pilot in the Air Force. He got out of the Air Force, went into the reserves, and he was an airline pilot. And he flew combat. And when you're with guys like that in the past, hey, they can handle anything. But now when you have a military that's filled with DEI pilots, which is, make no mistake about it, that's what we have. Whether or not this Black Hawk has DEI pilots or not, you don't have the same confidence in American pilots, military or civilian, that you used to have. And you get on a plane, you're putting your life in. Have any of you ever had any problems on a plane? I've had a few problems. I flew on one plane during a hurricane from, I was going from Cleveland to New York and then to Charlotte. And from New York to Charlotte, we hit some bad weather during this hurricane. We dropped like a rock. Everyone was screaming. We calmed down and we dropped again like a rock. It seemed like forever. I don't know. It might have been 2 seconds, but everyone was screaming. Ah! They opened up the bar for everyone on the plane. We could order whatever we wanted for the rest of the flight. You know, and I got on that plane. I had to transfer to another flight. I went right to the. I drank. I was with a buddy of mine, Ken. I drank. I was drinking the whiskey right out of the bottles. I didn't care. Everybody was. I got off that plane. I had to get on another plane. I went right to the bar and had like 4 more drinks, and I still was like nervous. I had to fly back to Florida from Charlotte. You know, and I had some other things. I don't want everybody to tell me about their airline horror stories in the air, okay? Nobody cares but you, you know. It's like the 9/11 stories. No one wants to hear your 9/11 story but you. But, you know, it's scary. But we used to have, but when I had that incident during the hurricane, I knew, this was before this was many years ago, okay? This is before this DEI crap. I knew that it might have been American Airlines I think it was either American or Delta, but regardless, I knew that the guys in the cockpit trained in either the United States Air Force or the United States Navy, and even though we felt like a rock, these guys have been through this before and they can handle it. But now, you don't know who the hell's on the plane flying. They might be up there because they got a penis and they wear a dress. And the same goes for the Black Hawk. So these are legitimate questions to ask, and don't let anyone tell you it's not. And all these people on TV dancing around it, lights, drones, China, DEI, that's what everyone's thinking. All right, let's take our first break of the day. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s, right here on the True Oldies channel.
Start the new year in a new City Kia. This event is at one location only. City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Make that switch. Make that switch to City Kia. To City Kia. We want to thank you, our Florida family, for making City Kia the #1 buying Kia dealership in Florida and #3 in the USA. The City Kia sell-down is going on right now. Save up to $21,000 on select new City Kias.
If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
As low as $149 a month on the all-new K4. Your trade 10-15,000. City Kia.
So what are your thoughts about we're talking about the Black Hawk in particular, but it could be the airline as well these days. You know, what do you think the chances that on the Black Hawk we got a DEI pilot?
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to.
Of course,
continuing
everyone's
that
thinking
legacy
that.
of excellence. Our team
How could you not?
specializes in all types of roofing systems.
How could you not be thinking
Tile,
that?
slate, metal, and
This
flat
is the
roofs.
world
We've
they've,
got experts for single-family homes, HOA
they've given us
communities,
now.
and condo associations.
Right?
What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Now is the best time when the market is challenged to consider copper, gold, silver, battery metals, clean tech, high tech, and AI equity. Listen to Money Talk
We'll be back shortly, guys.
with me, Ellis Martin, 9:30 a.m. weekdays here on your true oldies station.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on
Man, you're just stupid.
with Dr. Gupta.
Just a stupid person. Grow up. I don't need children here. Right?
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM.
Alrighty, 20 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We got a big announcement from My Pillow. Mike Lindell, they sent me an email about this yesterday, and then I emailed them back to, what? You know, is this true? And then they actually, Mike Lindell had his assistant call me to verify, because I wanted to make sure. This is a pretty big thing. Right now, and this is only with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. In fact, when you go to the website, you won't see any advertising of what I'm about to share with you on the MyPillow.com website. This is only with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. All right, and you can, when you call, I'll give out the number and use our promo code. It's the same, and you will. What I'm going to share with you, you will see this when you get to the checkout phase on the MyPillow website. Okay, free shipping on all orders site-wide with our promo code Kane. No matter how large, no matter how small. Free shipping on all orders at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. It doesn't matter what you order, how big or how small. It could be a pair of socks. Free shipping site-wide on everything. And what better time to do your Valentine's Day shopping? In fact, my wife and I were going to buy some things for my daughter, you know, because I was visiting her, so I saw what she needs. She needs towels. We're going to get her 2 sets of those. She needs some sheets. We're going to buy her a couple sets of those. And we were going to do it yesterday, and I'm glad we didn't, because now it is free shipping. So we'll order them today with free shipping plus huge discounts, because they got that mega sale going on. You can also take advantage of the free shipping offer by ordering over the phone with our promo code Kane at checkout. 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Free shipping on all orders site-wide. So, what are the odds that because the Black Hawk helicopter pilot is the one at fault. There are helicopters always flying over Washington, D.C. Well, for good reason, right? And these things don't happen all that often. Now it's happened. And, now I understand we don't have plane crashes as much as we used to in the United States. When I was a kid, we had plane crashes all the freaking time. In the 70s and 80s, there was either it seemed like there was either a crash or a hijacking every weekend. Remember all the DC-10s that were crashing? Remember ValueJet in the Everglades? Holy smokes, the one ValueJet in the Everglades. I was at the Fort Lauderdale Air Show when that happened, and the crash happened. We didn't know, and the Coast Guard, they were doing a demonstration or a show during the air show, and they left in the middle of the show because they had to go to the crash. And one of Steve's daughters used to be a funeral director. She embalmed bodies, and she actually handled some of those from the ValueJet, if I remember. And ValueJet, there was another plane crash in Miami years before that, which was, in the Everglades, crashed. There were crashes. It seems like there were crashes all the time. So I understand that we don't have as many crashes as we used to. Okay, it doesn't mean I don't get nervous. But what makes me so nervous now is today you don't know. You don't know. Is that pilot and that Black Hawk helicopter, is that pilot at the front of your airplane, are they the best of the best, or are they a DEI hire? Because, exactly. You know, I saw it. I can't remember what the number is right now, but I saw a number yesterday of the number of trans people in the military. It's huge. We have more trans people in the military than some countries have in their entire armed forces, I think, these days. The number was very high. I can't remember what it was. I'll look. I might have an article on it on my X. But, you know, come on. Come on. And the longer we go, I mean, at what point should we know the identity of the Black Hawk pilot? You don't think they've notified the family already? Come on. If we don't know who the Black Hawk pilot is by noon, I'll give them till noon. You think noon, or is that's really too long? We should know now. Now, if it breaks during the show, I'll let you know. And if you hear it and I miss it, let me know. And, you know, when there's breaking news out there, you and the listening audience are our reporters in the field. So if you hear something in the news that's relevant that you think needs to be shared about this crash, feel free. Now, there was that crash. I'm pretty sure it was, if I remember correctly, it was 1982. I was a kid. The Air Florida crash in the Potomac River. Oh, my goodness. Remember that? Anybody remember Air Florida? Not many people remember Air Florida. It was a discount airline, but Air Florida crashed in the Potomac. And remember, they had ice on the wings. They didn't de-ice enough. And boom, right after they took off, they crashed. And people survived that one. And there was a guy, they made a movie about it even. It was a TV movie. But and it was in the dead of winter when Air Florida crashed in the Potomac. Now, it's pretty damn cold there now and at night. But when Air Florida crashed, if you're on hold, standby. When the Air Florida crashed in the Potomac, it was during the morning rush hour. It was ice everywhere. It crashed right in the Potomac next to that bridge. And there was a guy driving to work. He got out of his car and jumped in the Potomac River in that sub-zero weather and was rescuing people. Remember that? I couldn't do that. I mean, my goodness. Now, I looked at the clock. I went a little long in the first segment. So if you're on hold, hang in there. I got a break soon, so you won't have much time to talk. So I'm going to take our break at the bottom of the hour here on time so we can get back on schedule. And you on hold will have time to speak. But I got to tell you, I watch a lot of YouTube channels with pilots that fly for the major airlines, and they got cameras all over the place for their YouTube channels. And I look at these pilots, these are not military trained pilots. I'm sorry to tell you. And if they are, the standards have gotten really low. Some of them make Vindman look thin. All right? So it's just we're in a different field now. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. Sorry for the short segment. My fault. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Come back with your calls and more after this.
Morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Now, you guys tell me, is it unfair or inappropriate or in bad taste to talk about DEI? I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. If you're on hold, hang in there. I think it's very fair. Well, they're not.
Years I've treated thousands and thousands of patients from bursitis, tendonitis, sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, tears, post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with robotic lasers. They're robots which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers...
Divine Reset says had nothing to do with DEI. How can you say that? You don't know. We don't know. At this point, we do not know.
I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have to bring for me to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom.
There's no way you can
proud
say that.
second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate.
Yep, I was right, 82.
We're the go-to
Yep.
experts for single-family
Air
homes,
Florida
HOA
90.
communities, and condo associations.
I remember that
What
very
sets us
well.
apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hi, I'm Shawna Smith. At All Year, we offer same-day AC service and installation. Need to stay cool? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833 all year. That's 833 all year.
For a limited time, save up to 30% off new air conditioners and repairs with all-year cooling.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did until I went to Lighthouse Medical
Yes, they
Center
did they made a couple of movies about the Miami Everglades crash. One of them was with Ernest Borgnine called The Ghost of Flight 40, was it 3?
all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 755
One of the movies had William Shatner in it as the investigator.
642.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
You know, I just remembered when ValueJet crashed in the Everglades. That one I was talking about during it was during the Fort Lauderdale Air Show. It hit the Everglades at the speed of sound. It went straight down. It had a lady pilot. They had a lady pilot, and you know, when these things happen, you know, so far as this DEI stuff, and I know this will sound ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but this is the world we live in. I wouldn't have a problem if they would let you know this plane is proudly flown by a DEI hired pilot. And if you want to play Russian roulette, you know, and get on that plane, hey, you know, take your liberal good intentions on that plane. I'll take the next flight. Wouldn't you? Absolutely. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you this, just going into this. No one wants to hear your near-death experiences on airplanes. I know I told one. I've had others, but I'm not going to tell any more. No one cares about your near-death experiences on airplanes but you. So please don't do that. Now, President Trump said this was avoidable. President Trump knows about flying. He does it all the time and has his whole life. And I promise you he has the best of the best pilots on Trump Force One. So he knows a lot about this. So when President Trump says this was avoidable and he questions the Black Hawk helicopter's actions, You can take it to the bank. That is probably the best expert analysis we've gotten about this crash. Not these idiots, the talking heads we're seeing on television that are dancing around everything. All right, we'll go to the phones. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is the masked lady in Boca. Long time no talk.
Hasn't been that long, has it? How's long it been? I don't know.
I have to, it is so ironic you bring that up, because in current events the other day, I said, when did you see all these mishaps with planes on the tarmac, things falling off, filling up with smoke? All these things, every day we see some kind of mishap on TV with an airplane.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't even want to fly. And then you mentioned, and I said, I am sure this is DEI, the result of DEI. And today you brought that up. I couldn't believe it.
Well, because it was a crash.
I know, but what I'm saying, have you seen every day there's a mishap with an airline?
Yeah, when I landed in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, they couldn't even get the damn bridge connected to the aircraft. For 30 minutes, we sat on the plane at night, and they couldn't even connect us to let us off the plane. And then then it went black. The plane went black. All the power went out, including the lights. We were in black. And darkness, and because you got some idiot DEI hire out there that doesn't know how to hook up the plane, and then we're in the dark, and some people got scared, and I said, hey, at least we're on the ground. Don't worry, But when you get on an airplane, you're putting your life in those people's hands. But the fault of this is that Black Hawk pilot, okay? The Black Hawk pilot more than anyone else. And we know that our military is infested with incompetent DEI people under Biden. So it is very fair to have this discussion.
Well, that's how I felt and brought it up in current events Monday. And how ironic. Do they ever mention the death toll or anything like that?
It's like everybody. Well, we don't have a final number yet, but it's like there's 64 people on the plane, and there's been no survivors yet, hopefully. But, and I don't know how many were on the helicopter.
Because last night I went to bed, they were trying to fish out people from the water.
Yeah, it's terrible. All right, masked lady, take care. I give an example of how bad things are in this military. Under Biden and Obama, okay, when Major Nadal Hassan shot up Fort Hood. Remember the backstory with that? Before he was stationed at Fort Hood, Nadal Hassan was stationed somewhere in Virginia, and he was a captain, not a major, he was a captain, and he was speaking to a group of other officers, some of them high-ranking officers, and he was in uniform at this military conference and went on this jihadi talk about U.S. military to the point where people in the room were scared that he was like a jihadi, and no one turned him in because Obama, with the DEI attitude he had in the military, they were afraid. And after he went on a jihadi rant, they promoted him to major. So you got a military for the last 4 years that's infested with these DEI people and weirdos. It is, of course, that's what everyone's thinking. We'll find out soon. And we've got now maybe it won't be. Maybe they were the best stereotypical square-jawed pilots and have done 80 combat missions and are the best of the best, and they screwed up or something. I don't know. But everyone's thinking DEI. Let's be honest. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian and Bill. I'm up in Alexandria, Virginia, next to Reagan.
Hey.
Just want to give you some thoughts. One is, first of all, it was 50 degrees, beautiful night, crystal clear. Live in Alexandria, which is just to the south of the airport, and my condo, which faces to the southeast, I see these planes lining up at day and night. It's about every 3 to 4 minutes we'll have an airplane coming in. So it's not just one airplane coming in. This is like a continual flight into D.C. And I would assume at this point that it's coming from the south. You can come from the north but I tend to think it's coming from the south. You know, one of the things I would mention is the fact that we recently had a event where a guy drove off a bridge and into the river, and the ice on the river was thick enough where DC's main boat has been out of service for like a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so it impaired the ability of the divers to get into the river to get these guys out of this truck. And it suggested that that was the best boat they had, and it's been out of service, which is typical of D.C.
Yeah, Democrats.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's a horrible. But the thing that stands out about it to me is the fact that I've been watching Black Hawks flying all over the place recently.
Yeah.
Today I saw about 6 of them over a period of about a half an hour flying into the Pentagon. Usually it was 2s. And the thing that stands out is that crash is not a half mile, maybe a mile from the Pentagon, also right next to the White House.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? How far is this crash from the White House, would you say?
If it's over a half mile or a mile,
wow. Really? Wow.
When you fly out to the north, you're basically going right between the Pentagon and the White House.
Mm.
And it's amazing. But the thing that stood out about it to me was I saw the ice on the river the other day, and there was no ice that I could see south of the bridges. So there wouldn't be any ice, I don't think, in the area.
Well, you know, President Trump said it was a clear night and everything else, and President Trump was laying blame to the Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and that's what it looks like to everyone because, you know, the jet was on its flight path to land properly at Reagan, you know, and we've got this military taken over by these DEI weirdos, you know, from the Biden administration, and, you know, come on.
Two things I've heard significant. One is I understand, you know, they've got these new helicopters for the president. And I understood talking to a guy earlier today before the crash that there were 8 of them that have been moved up and are stationed right next to the White House across the river, and which is new because normally I think these Black Hawks, the smaller Black Hawks, have been coming from south of here in the Marine base. But the thing that was significant to me about it was the fact that I've seen these new helicopters flying around. But the thing that I was amazed at, I found out not too long ago that some of these helicopters are being brought into the D.C. area. Like the Coast Guard, they have these bright orange and pink helicopters, and I thought they were for rescue. And a friend of mine who was a crew chief on one of them, who came in from north of here up in Atlantic City, on temporary duty, he told me, he says, no, he says, the purpose of us down here is not rescue, it's to enforce the no-fly zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and if you know this area at all, that all day long you've got helicopters flying up and down the Potomac.
Non-stop.
Basically going down to the Marine base or to Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
Just right. Andrews is probably 2 to 3 miles.
So what do you think happened here?
I think the helicopter pilot made a serious mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And what bothers me about it is it's so silly in a sense that I'm wondering whether there might be some sabotage here. And I find that hard to believe.
Why would somebody, where did this plane come from again? I forgot, like Wichita or something? Why would someone sabotage a plane coming from Wichita?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the helicopter. Because these guys are flying in an area which is so difficult and restricted that for them to hit a jetliner at that point is almost impossible. Because you can see
Well, if it was sabotage, who would you think did it?
What I'm telling you is the possibility that the crew screwed this thing up intentionally. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
That the Black Hawk purposely did this, like a kamikaze thing?
That is my conjecture because of the fact that you'd have to be a total idiot to not realize these jets are landing in that path. They do them all day long. They're
Well, an idiot, or at the same time a DEI promoted pilot.
Well, that could be, but the thing that just stands out about it, I was in the military with helicopters. We lost a lot of helicopters, but it was related to enemy action and weather. There is absolutely neither of those things here. This guy the pilot had to know that place, airplanes come in every 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He could not have flown.
In fact, on a night like this, you look in the sky, you can see them lined up for miles.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They turn their lights on.
Mm-hmm.
They turn their main lights on when they make the turn from the south, and you're coming up. I watch them every night. As soon as they make a little bit of a turn off the Potomac.
Well, let me tell you, we got a new boss in town. So we got President Trump, we got Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and we've got a competent Secretary of Transportation, not Mayor Pete anymore, with Sean Duffy. They'll get to the bottom of it. And I think we're going to find out quick. Trump, Trump's not going to let, especially so close to him, and he's got an interest in flying too, on top of it. And since there was a military aircraft involved, Pete Hegseth, the Defense Secretary, is going to be all over this real quick. We'll have some answers quick on this.
Well, one of the things that two things I've heard, which I did not have any information as to confirming, is that there were survivors. About 3 or 4 were pulled out of the river.
On the civilian craft or the Black Hawk?
Out of the civilian craft.
Oh, that's awesome.
And also, I heard that there was a possibility this helicopter might have been on a black mission where it had turned off its technology with respect to airplanes.
Why the heck would they do that? Training? Why would they do that?
That's the theory.
Oh my goodness.
My point is this: if I were a Marine pilot flying one of those, or an Army pilot, you're looking down the river. You can see these planes. There's probably 3 of them. They're in row coming down.
Mm-hmm.
At 9, I've flown in usually between 10:30 and midnight. You can see these planes stacked up, and that means there's probably another 30 planes out there getting ready to come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like you driving up this morning. You have times when you can see things, and then the lights. This is like, how can you miss?
Yeah, you got visibility. You got unusually good visibility. Listen, I'm going to run, but I'm going to since you're local and you're getting information locally through the local, you get probably faster than us. If you get anything that's newsworthy, you can call back. The one call per day does not apply to you. You're kind of like our DC correspondent on the plane crash. All right.
Oh, I appreciate it. Take care.
All right, take care. All right, now I want to remind everyone, free shipping on all orders at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane. Let me tell you, this will end without notice. I don't know how long it's going to be there, so I would not waste time. Go to mypillow.com with our promo code Kane. You're not going to see this advertised on the website. It's not on the website, okay? That's why I contacted them after they messaged me, because I didn't see it on the site. This is just for our listeners. With the promo code Kane, you'll see it when you check out. Free shipping on all orders site-wide, no matter what you order, no matter how large, no matter how small. Free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Call us on hold, stand by. Back with your calls after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Ed Air Conditioning and Heating reminds us that alcohol-related driving accidents claim thousands of lives each year. When you take to our roads, use the 3 C's of safety: caution, courtesy, and common sense. Because safe and sober driving is everybody's responsibility. This message is courtesy of Ed Air Conditioning and Heating, serving the area with pride and integrity. That's Ed Air Conditioning and Heating, on the air because they care, asking all listeners to arrive alive. Don't drink and drive.
The fake news tried to tear down Mike Lindell and my pillow, but Mike Lindell stood strong, just like President Trump. This is Brian Craig. It's time to celebrate President Trump's historic victory.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Pillow's Price Buster deals. Save with our promo code Kane at checkout. I sleep on a My Pillow mattress every night, and you can choose from top-rated mattresses, including the revolutionary My Pillow foam mattress with 5 comfort layers for the best sleep ever, and the 2-sided encased coil quilted mattress. It
faucet that continues to drip and drip. Trust All Year for same-day service 24/7. Call us today at 833 All Year.
Right now at All Year Cooling, enjoy free service calls and save up to 30% off repairs and new AC units.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. Call us on hold, stand by. I was just talking to Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing during the break, and the Fort Lauderdale Greek Festival is going on this weekend, and Laporta Contracting and Roofing will have a booth there all weekend. So if you happen to be at the Greek Festival, which you should go to, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I am Greek, even though I don't look like it. My mother's adopted, okay? So I don't look Greek. But my grandmother is Greek. I'm 100% Greek, too. My grandmother and her family. And I love Greek food and Greek stuff and Greek festivals. But if you're at the Fort Lauderdale Greek Festival this weekend, make sure you say hi to Tom Laporta and his team, okay? Over there. All right, let's go to we're getting great calls today on this so far. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sergio. First, in regards to your last caller, I believe he stated that that was possibly a black mission. If that was a black mission, those are classified ops. Those ops are intentionally concealed. There's no way they...
All right. All these people with their arrogant knowledge. Okay. The guy, hold on a second here. Slow down, Sergio. So slow down. Slow down. I mean, are you a boss at your work? Do you have people under you that you're in charge of?
I do.
Oh my gosh, those poor people. Poor people have a bully. No, I do want to hear what you have to say, but you sound like a guy that would be a bully boss. The guy that called in is there, and he and the people he talks to, they see things with their eyes. And when you see with your eyes, sometimes you can see them doing some kind of training mission that's classified.
You don't have...
What?
To the DEI thing.
Yes.
Let's talk about DEI for a minute.
Yes, didn't earn it.
In fact, DEI is white women. Notice you never mentioned that 73% of white women benefit from DEI. You never mentioned that.
Really? Who's the most high profile white woman that's a benefactor of DEI? Well, no, if they're the biggest benefactor, I can tell you who the highest profile non-white woman is. Her name is Kamala Harris. She was vice president.
I have no use for that drunk. No use for her.
Well, then tell me, if you say it's all about white women, tell me the most high-profile white woman who's a benefactor of DEI.
The bride, little man. Listen to me for a second.
Hear the attitude.
You mentioning Kamala Harris doesn't bother me. I don't support Kamala Harris.
Yeah. You don't support having good phones either.
Okay, well, you know what?
So I don't care who paid for the phone. So you think DEI is a good thing?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I don't. On that note, we'll say goodbye. I can hardly hear him anyway. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Danielle calling from Michigan. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Danielle?
Yeah, sad morning. I just have a couple quick comments. I was up really late listening to all of this tragic news. I know that early on they reported there were four survivors pulled. There's no survivors that I'm hearing as of this morning. And the sad thing is, they said the passengers apparently are part of the U.S. Some of the U.S. Skating team.
I heard there was a Russian skater and a coach that were married on board.
Okay, I'm hearing part of the U.S. There's some U.S. skaters as well coming from Wichita. And the question that I have is, it's just so bizarre to see what was wrong with this helicopter. Did they have a medical emergency? I mean, was this lack of experience? This is just crazy.
There's no, based on everything we're seeing, there's no doubt, okay, it was the military Black Hawk helicopter's fault, this whole thing. The air traffic controller may play a role, we don't know yet, but most definitely the helicopter pilot's at fault.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to get to the bottom of it ASAP. I mean, this is extremely sad and very tragic. But they're all over it. I mean,
well, this is the thing. The reason I bring up this DEI, isn't that what everyone's thinking? Because it's a military aircraft. That's what everyone's thinking. Come on, right?
I hate to say it, but what's happened over the past 4 years to our military and what they've done and how they've destroyed this country, it comes to your mind. So they'll get to the bottom of it, but it's just a very tragic situation. But they did report that there were survivors, but this morning no survivors. The other thing, I heard your Washington caller. Apparently, this is so close to the Pentagon and the White House. Apparently, to use this runway that they were on 3-3, you have to make a reservation or something for these smaller planes. It's so strict, so locked down, so confined. That's what they were reporting last night. So, and they do say that the helicopters are constantly flying. I mean, constantly helicopters everywhere there. So
yeah.
Really bad happened here, and we need to pray for all these families and these souls.
Absolutely, and it's a god awful tragedy. These are all innocent people, of course, and hopefully the story about those early survivors. Let's hope that was true. But if the Black Hawk was flown by, I mean, look who's been running the military. That idiot Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. If that was a DEI pilot in that Black Hawk. All DEI pilots nationwide, military and civilian, need to be grounded immediately because it's dangerous. I hope it wasn't. I hope it was because if it wasn't, that means we're really in danger because we got DEI people all over the place. I don't want it to be that. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, it's frightening.
Mm-hmm.
To think that. So yeah, pray for all these poor families and these souls. And great show, Brian. Somber morning.
All right, take care. I appreciate the call. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. When Joe Thomas was here the other day, I asked him, I said, when people come to you that are high net worth individuals, middle class people, working people at different income levels, what do different people at different income levels want, right, with an annuity when they come to you? And they all want, he said the same thing, a revenue stream. Yeah, a revenue stream. No matter what level of income, you never have enough revenue streams coming in. And, annuities are amazing. I heard about annuities my whole life. I never understood what they were about until I met Jupiter Joe Thomas. He explained them to me in less than 60 seconds in a very easy way to understand. And it clicked with me and made so much sense because he knows how to explain things. I've had people explain annuities to me before. It went in one ear without and out the other. I didn't understand what they were saying. It was... but when Joe Thomas explained them to me, your money's not at risk. You're not going to lose your money no matter what the stock market does, right? And you have a guaranteed income stream for the rest of your life. That's all I need to hear. That is music to my ears. Joe Thomas offers free phone consultations that you can take advantage of no matter where you are in the United States. And understand this. Joe Thomas is a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by less than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's a top man in the industry, and he's offering a free phone consultation to you. That's amazing, okay? Also, this, and this is with me, this is just how I think, okay? I can't live with the stress of the markets going up and down. I just can't. Stop losing your hard-earned money. Protect your money from stock market losses and generate income when you're retired for the rest of your life. Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, so we only have a minute left till the top of the hour. So if you're on hold, hang in there. I don't want to take a call and just give you less than a minute. to talk. So we have two openings on our board at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Does it not seem like Friday to you? Does it seem like Friday to you, Mike? It seems like Friday to me. I don't know why it seems like Friday, but it's not. It's Thursday. But it does seem like Friday. But I will go back. Oh, no. Only one opening on the board at 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. We'll go right back to the phones. And I'm very interested in hearing what all of you have to say. But here's the question. If the side of the aircraft said, this plane is flown by a DEI pilot, would you get on that plane with your family? Would you? I wouldn't. I'll tell you that right now. I would not. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Every line is lit on the board.
It should be sunny. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees. Tomorrow, our Friday, will bring a high of 76 degrees and will be mostly sunny and breezy. Friday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Your drive to work this morning in Palm Beach County is looking good as I-95 and the Turnpike are crash-free in both directions. Meanwhile, we do have a crash on Highway 729 at Belglade Road, so expect delays as you approach the area. That's traffic. I'm Jamie Nunez.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This Sunday, February 2nd, KC features South Florida's premier sports car and memorabilia show with amazing vendors and a wide variety of all your favorite collectibles. Admission and parking are always free, and don't miss a single...
If you're on hold, hang in there. Every line on the board is lit. I'm going to go right to the phones when we get back. All right, right to the phones. I got an itchy back. My back itches. I'm going to scratch my back on the board jam.
Trusted partner in keeping your home safe and secure. Whether it's protecting your loved ones or safeguarding your belongings, our commitment to real security powered by real people makes all the difference.
That's right. Our dedicated team is right here in Florida, ready to serve you with expert care and support.
With 24/7 monitoring and personalized service, you're not just a number to us, you're part of our family. Join all the homeowners who trust Sloman's for peace of mind. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME today. Protecting what matters most, because the difference is human.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. Of course, we're talking about the crash and everything that's happened with this crash in D.C., and it looks like it was the fault of the Black Hawk helicopter. You know, like I remember when the DC-10s were crashing all the time? Remember that back in the 80s? It was like DC-10s were like all kinds of problems. People were getting killed all the time. Remember that? And then they found there was a problem in the DC-10. You know, if DEI is at fault with that Black Hawk, that's just like some mechanical dysfunction in an aircraft that you want to change. And, you know, when there's an aircraft problem, they ground those types of aircraft. Okay? Until they find out what caused it. Every line on the board's lit, so I'll just go to the phones instead of me yapping. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Chris from Chicago.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, I could call in on this one. I got to tell you, I'm going to borrow part of your phrase that I give you credit for coining. This is going to unfold like everybody's business. You know, prior to me, wearing a local uniform, I was, in the Marine Corps, and I came that close to going in for air traffic control. But then I decided air defense would be, more exciting. Now, there's already a few areas that you guys have already touched base on, but this involves air traffic control, the fly zone, aircraft ID, identification, recognition, and then, of course, piloting.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's involved, and there's, like I said, this is going to unfold like everybody's business. I think there's going to be a big puzzle here. And it's going to be very interesting as it moves forward, this story.
Well, the longer they wait to tell us who was flying the Black Hawk, the more suspicious I'm going to get.
Exactly. And trust me, this is not acting alone and just DEI in one area. Because there's checks and balances, like I said, like nobody's business here.
Well, President Trump, he was all over this. He posted on True Social, why didn't the helicopter fly up, fly down, or move to the side? Why, the air traffic control is one thing, but that Black Hawk helicopter pilot had a visual. So why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they move?
The fly zone we're talking about, this is huge. So, yeah, and I'm glad President Trump is in to get to the bottom of this.
Well, he's got an interest in flying because he's got planes and he flies all the time. This is something that interests him. I bet you his pilots are the best on Trump Force One.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, appreciate the call. All right, take care. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
Air traffic controller has complete control of the airspace and should have been giving out warnings. And if that was a training flight pilot, he had an experienced pilot beside him. So there's a lot we're not being told.
Well, you're talking about the helicopter.
Yeah, the hell.
I don't know, but they know. Listen, it's been how long since the crash now? They know everything about the pilots of the Black Hawk. Would they have notified the family of the Black Hawk people by now? I would say yes, because it's all over the news. Yeah, I'm sure the military has notified them already. Why aren't, they got to tell, listen, Pete Hegseth's on, he's the defense secretary now, so we'll get the information soon. I'm sure we have a I would imagine Pete Hegseth will be at the press conferences over this because it's a military aircraft involved.
And, air traffic controllers have a lot to say with what's going on, and why wouldn't they release saying, air traffic controllers should have been telling them both to make.
So you're laying more blame on the air traffic controller than the Black Hawk pilot?
I am, because their job is to make sure planes do not come, or aircraft close to.
I think you just don't like to criticize military, Pete, because you're a Marine, you're a veteran.
No, he was a pilot in training, so he should have had an experienced person beside him. So that
the Black Hawk pilot was a pilot in training.
That's what I heard. On the news.
A student pilot.
So, and why was he near a big airport too?
Near the White House.
Training, they usually don't do it there. So I think there's a lot we don't know yet. And could we say one thing about yesterday with the Lincoln?
Yes.
Signing. When that mother spoke, Brian, I was in tears. I choked right up. The hurt in her voice, and the respect and love and admiration she had for President Trump. And President Trump looked like he almost broke down. He was holding it back. That was the best thing that happened all day yesterday.
Yesterday was the first time, and maybe I've just forgotten, but I think yesterday I heard President Trump told us that the murderer of Lincoln Riley is part of that Venezuelan gang. I don't remember hearing that before. I don't remember hearing that before.
And he had been arrested several times and released.
And Lincoln Riley, from the reports I heard, he was unsuccessful raping her. She sacrificed her life to avoid the rape. He may have killed her anyway. But she didn't, from the reports I heard, she did not let herself get raped by that monster.
She fought like a trooper. I heard she put up such a fight, and to hear the mother describe her daughter and the beautiful person she was, and intelligent and articulate and a bright future, but thank the Lord Jesus Christ that she knows she's going to see her again. That spoke volumes.
You know, I got to tell you, and the Biden administration, the Democrats, bringing these monsters into the country, they're like accessories to all these things,
Not only that, Brian, but they never come out and reached out to her to give her condolences. And they'll never take blame, responsibility. And I believe that all these illegal aliens that came, that the Biden administration and everyone in charge of that fiasco, all those people should be held accountable. All the
All right, Jeff. I'm gonna get back to the crash, but thanks for the call. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative.
Hey, Doug.
The first thing I'd like to say is, what is a military, any kind of aircraft doing in a commercial airlines?
Flight path? Yeah, in the front of them. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really. New York City helicopter division is in Floyd Benefield, which is right next door to Kennedy Airport, and we used to have the drug seized vehicles in Floyd Benefield as well. I asked them one day, so what are you guys doing here? Why aren't you in Kennedy? Oh, we can't be in Kennedy Airport. The air traffic.
No, with helicopters, even unless there's an emergency, police and military helicopters, commercial airport areas are no-fly zones, even for the military and the police, except in a special instance if there's an emergency. I'm not saying that the air traffic controller may have some responsibility. Maybe they do, but when it gets down to it, it's the Black Hawk pilot. They had to see everything that was going on. President Trump said a perfectly clear night. They had to see it.
And Jeff just said he was a trainee. If he was a trainee, first of all, we'll never hear if they were DEI. You'll never.
Yes, you will. Pete Hegseth is the defense secretary now. You're aware that we have Trump's president, right?
Yeah.
If the Black Hawk pilots are DEI, we will know it. We will know it. And I got to tell you, they need to get the identities of these pilots out there. They really do. Pete Hegseth, notify the families, get it out there. People need to know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I hate the flight to start off with it, man. Every time you think about a crash, you say, man, the airlines are dangerous, but you got to fly. But now you have helicopters wrecking planes, man.
Military helicopters, and the military is supposed to have the best of the best. They used to.
And if it's a trainee, it certainly shouldn't be.
Listen, if this was Lloyd Austin and Joe Biden's military, we would never know. But this is Trump and Pete Hegseth, so we're going to know. And maybe it wasn't DEI. I'm not saying it was. We don't know. But I do think it is fair to lay most of the blame on this, not on the air traffic controller, but on the Black Hawk helicopter pilot, because they could see it, and the helicopter is traveling at a much slower rate of speed, maybe even hovering, and they have the ability to maneuver where the commercial jets coming in at 160, 200 miles an hour, and they don't see and have the abilities to move like that.
I would certainly bet that the air traffic controller was warning the people off, and they just didn't listen. So otherwise it wouldn't have been a crash, because these guys either were intoxicated, maybe, or they were.
I don't know about that. But all right, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, one opening on the board. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the Oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
Hey, my True Oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to JupiterJoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Brian Craig here. Our 6th annual cruise is coming up, and you're all invited. This time, we're sailing for 7 nights on Celebrity Cruise Line's newest ship, the Ascent, to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. We set sail March 30th. We have private shore excursions, private cocktail parties, group activities. We're going to go to the shows together and much, much more. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot right now, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com to make your reservation and lock in our private group rate. Nothing comes close to Celebrity Cruises.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9.
All right, we're back, and just to remind you, big announcement from Mike Lindell. This is only with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. So this is only for our listeners. Free shipping on all orders site-wide, no matter how big, no matter how small. And you will not see this on the website. You won't see this until you check out. Okay, free shipping with our promo code Kane site-wide on all orders. Promo code Kane at checkout, no matter what you order. And you also get the big discount that's going on during that sale, too. You can also order by phone. Free shipping site-wide with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. There's 2 openings on the board. Somebody just asked me in our chat room during the break, did you just fly? Yeah, I'm scared to fly. You know, I have an American Express card, okay? And if you have an American Express card, you can go. American Express has their own airport lounges, okay? And I've never been to an airport lounge until this last flight, and I never bothered to go to airport lounges. I did not know it's free. It's free because I'm an Amex member, and it's. Not only is it free food that's spectacular, it's open bar. Open bar. They had Tito's, man. I was drinking, I like Absolute Citron. I was drinking Absolute Citron. And free. As much as you can drink, but only for 3 hours. You can only go 3 hours before your flight. Unless you're on a layover. Okay? But I got there and I yes, I always drink before I fly. I do not like flying. I hate flying. It's dangerous. Okay? I do not like to fly. And I'm not alone. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. All right. You missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing?
All right.
I've been watching that, especially, let's throw everything out, DUI, all that stuff. You got these helicopters. I mean, and first of all, it was a training flight. It doesn't mean that the pilot was being trained.
No, it could have been training on a particular mission.
Yeah. So get that out of the way. Just looking at it, okay, just looking at it from that video, to me, it looks like it was done on purpose. It looks like because you see these helicopters, they go after cars that are fleeing, and they can see everything. Matter of fact, they have the helicopters flying around looking looking for pieces and people. So that it's not the visual was.
You said, you're like the third person today that's told me on purpose. For what purpose and who did it on purpose?
Well, here's the deal. You had a colonel, you had a doctor, a colonel at Fort Hood, Texas. You had other incidences that.
Well, that was, Nadal Hassan at Fort Hood. Okay, yes, he was a U.S. Army major, an infiltrator spy from Al Qaeda. That was an Islamic Al Qaeda terrorist attack, and those were soldiers that had just returned from, was it Iraq or Afghanistan? So that was a specific. Why would someone target a plane from Wichita?
I think it would have been any plane. It looked like that. You just look at that video. It looked like he was going right at him. You could see him.
I know that.
See him. So he just looked like it was just perfect.
Well, that flight 850 out of New York years ago. That's what that was. The pilot. The pilot was an Islamic. Remember, he was an Islamic jihadi.
How about New Orleans? Just recently, that guy was in the military and was trained. Let me tell you something. You don't know what you got there. You don't know if people have been radicalized. You just don't know. And I'm an ex-military guy. I don't like throwing daggers out. I'm just saying, because the aircraft, they have things on these planes and on the helicopters warning.
Well, see, what we have are 4 years of lunatics running the military. And what they've done to the military, these questions people have about the military are questions we would not have had years ago. But we've had these lunatic liberals doing these checkbox nonsense in our military, and of course this is what everyone's thinking. I'm listening to these pundits on TV. I haven't heard anybody mention DEI yet. I mean, they're talking about everything but. They're dancing. It's the elephant in the room.
Here's the other thing about flying. You're not the only one, my friend. I think everybody that flies. These people that you hear them say, "Oh, I love flying. There's no problem." My cousin's a commercial pilot. He told me if the average passenger knew what we see every day in the cockpit, they wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
When planes land, do you ever notice everyone takes a big sigh of relief, like, "Oh, it's over, thank God," and sometimes they clap. When we play.
Oh, that's the best. I love when people do that. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed just to assume it's going to land safely.
Yeah.
I hate that.
You're so relieved you're on the damn ground. Everybody.
The last time I have only flown without alcohol since 9/11 one time, and I took my daughter to D.C. and she was 9, so I didn't want to go to the bar and get tanked with my 9-year-old daughter. I was terrified, man. It was like I was terrified. It was like I could hardly. It was the worst flight of my life. I was scared to death.
L.A. That flight you took to L.A. I've gone to Las Vegas, and you go over the Rockies. Turbulence, and it's that plane is rocking and rolling. You don't know how it's staying together. You're just in the hands of God.
Yes, that's right.
When I drove a bus, okay. We had what was called an idiot light that would go off and a buzzer. If you were sitting on a bus, you'd know. I mean, as a passenger, if you heard it, you'd know. The people would say, "What's that?" It would just go off. And what it was something mechanically went wrong with the bus. And to shut the bus down, you had 30 seconds to pull off the road. Otherwise, you could have engine damage. So the warning was there. I don't like, you're dealing with mechanical thing. One screw, one bolt, and that whole thing could go down.
And the problem, and again, DEI is not new. It used to be called affirmative action. So this has been around for a long time. However, it never reached the ranks of pilots and people in the service. And you go to your airline mechanics, a huge chunk of them come from the military. We don't have standards in this country like we used to have for things. And like I'll tell you, if you ever go to the, by the way, thanks for the call, Richie. Do you ever go to the fair? I love the fair. I go to the fair. I don't ride anything that goes off the ground, though. You think I'm going to get on something that's put together by homeless people, the carnies, and they take it down every couple weeks and go? Are you crazy? The standards at carnivals and at fairs for rides, some of these rides do crazy things. You have to be out of your mind to go on any of those things. Put together by tweaker homeless carnies, forget about it. But there's a similar standard now when it comes to pilots and airline mechanics and the military. Because they've lowered the standards so much, we just don't have the same trust and confidence in these people, this class of people that we used to, for good reason. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Is that me?
Sounds like you.
Okay. Hi. Thank you. I'm a retired Air Force pilot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you got any questions?
No. Do you have, I mean, you're watching the news. Do you have any insight? I mean, you know, have any opinions?
I went through pilot training the old-fashioned way.
Have any questions?
And, I know nothing about DEI. You know, I never experienced with it.
Okay. Now, when were you an Air Force pilot?
1955.
55? What the hell do you know about this? What were you flying? Sabre jets?
Maybe you remember me. I'm the guy that flew for 2 years on the Greenland Ice.
Yeah, I remember your call. Yeah, you're the guy. You're like the 90-something-year-old Uber guy, right?
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from you. No, that's fine. I'm not trying to make fun of you. It's kind of cool thing. You know, Sabre jets were cool. No, Sabre jets are cool. Did you fly a Sabre jet?
No, I flew C-130 for...
Okay. Well, that was, you know, you were in the Air Force during the days of Chuck Yeager, so that was a cool time. Not taken away, but But you say, do I have any questions involving the crash? What would I ask you involving the crash? I don't know.
Well, I agree with you on what you've already said, but I know all about an airplane crash. I know all about getting shot down in Vietnam, and I know.
Well, no, that's good. That's good. But you haven't. You were in the Air Force like how many years ago?
25 years I was in it.
But no. How long ago were you? You were in the Air Force like you in 50 what? 50 what were you? You said 1950 what when you were in the Air Force?
I graduated pilot training in 55.
Okay, 55 was how many years ago? Like, it was 65 years ago. I want you to think about this. 65 years before you were flying was before the Wright brothers flew. The Wright brothers hadn't even made their flight yet. So your expertise is a little out of date. Although, you were in the Air Force during a cool time. You know, that was definitely a cool time, no doubt about it. You know, no, I'm not taking away from it. But I just don't know what I'd ask you about the crash. See, back when you were in the Air Force, okay, you, by the way, were you in the Army Air Force or the regular Air Force? Was it still the Army Air Force?
U.S. Air Force, but when I went in 48, we had a brown uniform, and then 49, we went over to the...
Okay, yeah, went from Army Air Force. So, you know, here's the thing, though. When you were in the Air Force, when you were flying for the military, you had to be highly qualified. Now... If you're a guy and you wear a dress and you do your hair and you wear lipstick, they give you the wings. It's not the same Air Force.
Oh, you're right. I mean, I'm on your side. Matter of fact, I had an interview in the Pentagon and was selected to fly for the CIA. So
awesome.
I was there for 4 years.
You got shot down in Vietnam? Yeah. What happened?
I got hit with small arms fire. When I was delivering arms and bombs at Benoit, which is right outside of Saigon, we would have to make these very, very steep landings to avoid small arms ground fire, and also make very steep departures, almost on a stall, to avoid the small arms ground fire. And that's when I got hit. And we got
did you crash land or did you jump?
No, I landed with holes in the wings, the jet fuel pouring out. I landed back at Ten Sun Airport, 2 miles away at Saigon.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm just, you know me. Hey, you ever hear the snake? Why? Because I'm a snake. You know, that's me. I'm a snake.
I've been a fan of yours the past 20 years right here.
Thank you.
Beach.
Oh, so you know what I'm all about. You know how I am.
Yeah,
no. But that's pretty cool. Yeah. I appreciate that.
I'm very concerned about the identity of the pilots or the crew members. That's for sure. And I'm with you 100%.
Well, no. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. My cousin, who's since passed away, he was an Air Force fighter pilot. There's a building named after my cousin at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. So he was a big deal. And I remember he's about 5 or 6 years older than me. And he passed away of cancer that he probably got in Iraq or something. But I remember what he had to go through to become a jet pilot for the Air Force. And let me tell you, he was he never got a lower than an A the whole time he was in school. And what he had to go through it was like the right stuff for him to become a fighter pilot when he did. It was and now it's nothing now to become a pilot.
When I went through pilot training, they tried to make you quit.
Yeah, exactly. And now a lot of people now the military's gotten really bad the last few years, but on civilian commercial aircraft that fly passengers, a lot of these pilots are people that are over at the airport taking these cheap flight schools. And all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden they're flying people. And that's just not the way. I was talking about this earlier. I always flew American Airlines. I don't mean American. I mean American-owned airlines, Delta, Eastern, stuff like that. Because the pilots most often were ex-military pilots, usually the Air Force, sometimes the Navy. And back then, these pilots would and you know more about this than me, they would have to stall these large aircraft in flight and regain control, and now you don't have those standards, and it makes things dangerous, and people rightly, like me having the 4 screwdrivers, before I get on a plane, I'm not embarrassed. What wouldn't you? I mean, come on, it's just not enough before I fly, because I don't even feel drunk. I'm so nervous about flying. You can't even know. Believe me, if I had 4 screwdrivers now, I'd be tanked. But I'm so afraid to fly that it just takes the edge off a little bit. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, man. All right, take care. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Thursday morning and into the afternoon, we will see a high of 75 degrees and should be sunny. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees. Tomorrow, our Friday, will bring a high of 76 degrees and will be mostly sunny and breezy. Friday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Dealing with a crash on the I-95 northbound exit ramp to Yamato Road that's blocking the left shoulder. Be sure to slow down as you approach the area. Meanwhile, the turnpike is up to speed in both directions, but we have a fire with several units responding on Congress Avenue and Executive Center Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jamie.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Reserve your tickets now for the big game party in the Paddock Restaurant February 9th, featuring an all-you-can-eat buffet, drink specials, and all the exciting action on over 140 TVs, 3
Okay.
screens, and a TV at every table. Get your tickets today for upcoming shows like Memories of Elvis Valentine's Day, Splish Splash, the music of Bobby Darin, the Pure Zeppelin Experience, comedian Patrick Warburton, and more. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Start the new year in a new City Kia. This event is at one location only. City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot.
Make that switch. Make that switch to City Kia. To City Kia.
We want to thank you, our Florida family, for making City Kia the #1 buying Kia dealership in Florida and #3 in the USA. The City Kia sell-out is going on right now. Save up to $21,000
If you're on hold, hang in there.
The best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners, from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches, with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingles, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. So come on, and let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602, or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again is 954-604-4602.
Now, just because you get home doesn't mean you have to feel it. At the bio station, West Way, Dr. Mitch Cortez, an expert in hormone replacement therapy, is here to help you reclaim your youth. Hormone replacement therapy is all natural and will restore your hormones to where they were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, more energy, and even get your sex drive. And for women, hormone replacement therapy signs and symptoms of menopause. No more mood swings, better sleep, and no more night sweats. Call Dr. Cortez for a free consultation today at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Brian Craig, when it comes time to get back to the window, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for orders to be outcomes. That's why I need any lab test now with Boca. Any lab test now with Cool Springs for all of our brand. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed. Always don't mind what you'll find anywhere. No appointments are necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not getting anything. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box. They also send to their doctor. There's lots of any lab tests now, so they're usually the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. They go to any lab test now.
Okay.
Any lab test now in Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Meadow Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard, the east side of State Road 7 in California. Any lab test now in Cool Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Greenwood by the Cool Square Mall. Call any lab test now in Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now in Cool Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show. Brian Craig, celebrating 40 years on the air.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Of course, we're talking about the plane crash. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Mr. Brian.
Yes?
Yeah, my name is Joanne from Tamarack, Florida. I called yesterday for the first time.
Oh.
I had to call again today. Last night, they were showing video of the crash at a certain angle, and they were saying the helicopter was going up and the plane was coming down for a landing. This morning, they're showing a different angle of what happened, and you can see that helicopter is in the air. It's not going up, it's already in the air, and it's going straight for that plane. Behind them. So either last night they didn't have the information, but maybe the gentleman that called saying it was on purpose. Something is very wrong with what happened. Because if you see that second video, that helicopter is like a torpedo going straight at that plane.
Yeah. You know, someone, I just got an email from a listener. By the way, the phone, you know, I'm sure you have a telephone. It was very long-winded, like one of these 100-word emails. You know, you don't read the whole, too long. No more than a sentence of a couple of words will suffice. But they said, this is not a time to speculate. Are you kidding me? Would you get on a plane today and fly to Washington? I wouldn't. I want to know what happened.
That time to speculate.
Exactly.
Speculate. 2 years from now?
Exactly.
Floating in the water. We have to know what's going on. If something is going on. Because when I saw that video, it's
Yeah, you know, I saw that too, and I haven't mentioned that because there's so much that's out new. It's hard to know what's real and what's Memorex, right? But that looks pretty real to me. And I find it hard to believe, although you never know, because of Nadal Hassan, that U.S. Black Hawk helicopter, an Army helicopter, would do something like that on purpose. But Fort Hood was shot up by a U.S. Army major, so who was promoted from captain to major after he was vocalizing his jihadi rants against the United States. So you never know in this Obama-Biden military that Pete Hegseth and President Trump have inherited.
Yeah, well, it's just like the illegals coming across the border. We don't know who some of these people are in our own military.
And I got to tell you, you know, remember when Obama got SEAL Team 6 killed? You know, SEAL Team 6 took out bin Laden. It was supposed to be classified which team did it. And Obama went on TV and told everyone. And Al-Qaeda killed them. And there was a couple hundred guys that were killed that were very covered up. You know, it was insane. You know, so, you know, their stupidity of Democrats gets people killed all the time.
And as far as the DEI hires, I remember, I think it was about a year ago, or maybe during the COVID, that they announced, I think it was United Airlines, who said they were going to start hiring pilots this year, I believe, or 26 or 25, that they were hiring by those kind of...
Yeah, that was the guy. Yeah, he said, it was the head of the airline said that he wanted to increase the diversity among their pilots. I just want the best pilots. I don't care what they dresses, whatever. I don't care as long as they're the best. I don't want, you know, I don't want this DEI. I mean, think about it. You know, when we used to do these, we used to have these gun control lunatics on the show all the time. And, you know, we'd ask them sometimes, would you put a sign on the front lawn of your home that says this is a gun-free home? Yeah, of course. And not even a gun, they couldn't even answer that, right, with a straight face. You know, would you get on an airplane that said on the side, this plane is flown by a DEI hire pilot? I don't think so.
What about if you need neurosurgery, a brain operation?
Yeah.
You look for the best doctor. You don't look for the guy that was the bottom of his class.
Exactly.
Your head up and start cutting.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane.
So hopefully we do go by merit from now on, but this crash, there's more to it than...
Yeah, and you guys, we will find out everything. And you know what? Maybe it was just an accident, and it was an accident. But if any of these things we're speculating on are true, we'll find out because Trump's in charge and Pete Hegseth's in charge, not Biden, Kamala, and Lloyd Austin.
Yeah, what a relief.
All right. Take care. Appreciate the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Ryan. It's Laura. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, hi. How are you? Listen, here in France, since this morning, they're saying that it's impossible that a helicopter cannot see a plane. It's impossible.
Correct.
Even if the pilot doesn't see, the co-pilot sees.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we can see the helicopter is like going forward, like going through to the plane. It's very scary. And to be honest with you, I'm repeating what they're saying. They are saying that it's a terrorist attack.
In France, they're saying that?
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
They're saying that. I don't know, but when I see that what they're showing, it looks like it. I'm sorry. He's just going straight to it, to the plane. It's impossible. They cannot see.
Yeah.
In the United States, they're saying that they didn't see, but here we can see they see. I mean, going forward to it. I don't know. I'm just repeating.
Let's hope not. I mean, that would be the worst. That'd be the worst.
President Trump, in his post, he's very mad. He knows something.
Well, you know, so yeah, he was ticked off when he fired off that post. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, if it's something like that, it would be terrible. That would be worse because, you know, with if it's a DEI issue, which is one of the possibilities, you could just ground all the DEI pilots. If it was a terrorist attack, you know, it's harder to stop that.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, they're gonna like purge, but at this point, we don't know who are in this military.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, I gotta run. I thank you for the call. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back. All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Hey, Brian. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. What do you have for the audience today?
We're at the end of January, January 30th already.
Crazy.
And, earlier this month we were talking about the New Year's resolutions and how many people have getting their estate planning done high on their resolution list or updating their estate plan so they know that they have that peace of mind to have a plan that's going to work for them when they need it, protecting themselves, protecting their loved ones. And now here we are coming up on the very end of January, and the question is, what have you done so far? Have you taken any action? Have you even pulled out your documents? Have you pulled out that binder? Have you even looked at it? Do you even know where it is? What's the first step? When you think about it, like if your New Year's resolution was to start going to the gym, you need to start pulling out your sneakers and knowing where your sneakers are and putting them by the side of your bed to do it. Where is your estate plan? Make sure that you take it out. Give us a call. Schedule your consultation. We'll review your documents for you, let you know what you have, and have that conversation so you could be on the road to having an estate plan that works and protecting the people you care about and having the peace of mind that you need.
And by the way, the Siegel Law Group will review your estate plan even if another attorney did it. It doesn't have to be, one of the Siegel Law Group's clients. Just so you know. And I think getting your estate plan reviewed by you, Barry, is easier than the gym because you guys do all the work. If I go to the gym, I got to work out myself. I got to do all that. I don't want to do, you know what I mean?
It's just getting started.
Yeah.
That first step.
Well, when it comes to, you're talking about death. People always are avoiding that, There are always people that put off all kinds of things involving that, and you really shouldn't. And I say this often because it's so true. I have met, I don't know how many of our listeners that are clients of yours, Barry, and I tell you this all the time. No matter who they are, no matter where they're from, no matter what their background is, all of them tell me a variation of the same thing. A weight has been lifted off their shoulders. They are relieved. And it's something people worry about, and then they don't anymore. Listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. It's a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Barry Siegel on the program. The number is 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. Back to our phones. Of course, we're talking about the plane crash. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, West Palm Beach, Jessica, Brian. How are you doing?
All right, Jessica.
I just heard, and I've been, seeing through Instagram and social media, the air traffic controller recording. And it seems like they were telling the helicopter to return to the base.
Mm.
And the helicopters were not responding.
Mm-hmm.
This was before they crashed. So I'm sure that when your show is over, you're going to be able to listen to it, but it's all over social media.
No, I've seen all that stuff. I've seen all that. I've seen that, and a lot of stuff will be coming out. But when you're a helicopter pilot on a let me show, President Trump. Okay, let me share with you because President Trump has spoken on this, and let me pull this up. And President Trump knows about flying, right? Because he flies all the time. And President Trump posted on Truth Social. He says the airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. This is President Trump. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? Why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good, President Trump said. So, you know, he's an expert on these things. And that's true. There's something up here. Something's not kosher.
Yeah, well, yeah, the air traffic controller were telling the helicopter to return to the base. It's so clear on the recording that was released.
And why was the helicopter going? And okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I feel that we are under terrorist attack.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. But you know, it has a lot to do with all these sleepy cells that are all over the United States because our border has been open, wide open.
Yeah, but this is a military weapon. So how would somebody like that get a hold of a military Black Hawk helicopter during a mission in our capital?
We never know, but they are inside the military. They are in Fort.
No doubt about that.
And that base needs to be investigated.
Well, I got to tell you, this thing of a helicopter flying for an extended period of time directly towards the commercial jet, that's disturbing.
No, absolutely. Brian, I wanted to also bring up to your attention, not to your attention, but to share that what I read just now, that President Trump is going to sign an executive order for those foreign students that have marched, supporting Hamas in the United States, and he's going to have them deported.
That's right.
That's great news to my ears.
Yeah, I hope the professors too.
To be sent back home.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy President Trump is doing this. I always question why were all these students allowed to march against the United States inside the United States?
Well, we have a First Amendment. But when you're a guest in someone else's country, you don't behave that way. It's it's inciting. They incite violence.
It doesn't apply to you. You're not American.
The Constitution applies. No, that's not true. The Constitution applies to everyone in the United States. If you're here legally,
If you are a foreign student, that you are.
Well, if you're a foreign these marches are the incitement of violence. This is, listen, we should have had President Trump during Vietnam, okay? The Vietnam protests were organized by the Soviet Union. These jihadi protests at the universities, that's Iran. And these are these are not students, okay? These are organized by terror leaders and jihadis, and they should all be deported, and I can't wait. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes? Turn down. Hey, Frankie, turn down the volume of the radio.
TV.
All right, TV. All right, what's on your mind?
Hey, earlier this morning, I think I might have been laying in bed still, but I heard a report that Mayorkas was on a plane that was from New York headed to Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Around.
And notice how every time they tell that story, flying first class. Why is that in the story? Why has he got to let everybody know he was flying first class, Mayorkas?
No, but as soon as I heard that, I goes, wait a minute. They turned his plane around, and now this one.
They closed down the airport. They closed down the airport. All flights were turned. That could be turned. They closed down the airport. Appreciate the call, but I'm glad he mentioned that because I wanted to bring this up. So Mayorkas, this guy that's responsible for Invasion USA, Mayorkas, the last Homeland Security Secretary under Biden, he was flying to D.C. first class. How much does a Homeland Security guy make? How do you? I want to know, where did he make his money to be flying first class? Where did he make his money, Mayorkas? I wonder. What's his net worth today? I don't know the answers to these questions. I'm not making accusations. I'm asking some questions. Mayorkas, did he fly first class before he was Secretary of Homeland Security? What's his net worth now as opposed to 4 years ago? Does anyone know? I don't know. Maybe you know. I know first class is expensive. I fly. I don't fly first class. Are you kidding? What a waste of money. Now I'm not a millionaire. Maybe if I was a millionaire, I'd fly first class. You know. But no, I fly coach. You know. But Mayorkas is flying first class. Did he used to fly first class before he was Homeland Secretary? I wonder. I don't know. Maybe somebody should look into that. Not a bad idea. All right, now listen, there's a lot to cover. Sadly, the plane crash is dominating the news. I get that. President Trump, though, dropped something super big yesterday. Let me pull this up because it was, if it were not for the plane crash, this would have been my lead story for the day. Let's see here. Yes, okay. This is President Trump yesterday.
Today I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000 person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them, because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo.
Okay, now this is amazing because now even before the plane crash, there was really no media outrage over this. So these are illegals that President Trump, they're so dangerous. President Trump doesn't trust their home countries to keep them locked up safely, and he's afraid they might make their way back to the United States, so he's going to lock them up in Guantanamo Bay. And I don't know, that sounds great to me. And I did read, I don't know, I haven't seen this verified, but I did read somewhere online last night that President Carter housed Cuban refugees in Guantanamo Bay during the Mariel period. Or was it Mariel? Was it Carter? But one of the presidents did. But regardless of all that, I remember the left had meltdowns when they were putting the Al-Qaeda terrorists in Guantanamo Bay, the actual ones that knocked down the buildings and killed 3,000 Americans on 9/11. And I haven't even heard a whisper about Trump sending the illegal migrants to Guantanamo Bay. And there's nothing about, what would be the process? Is there going to be a trial, or is he just going to hold them there like they were holding the J6 prisoners? I think it's a great idea. I support it. But even before the plane crash, there was zero media reaction to it. Someone told me Mayorkas is worth $9 million. What was he worth 4 years ago? Do you know? If he's worth $9 million now, what was he worth 4 years ago? I don't know. Was he worth $9 million? Even if he was still a millionaire, how many millions did he have 4 years ago compared to now? I don't know. These are things we should find out about. But this idea of sending the illegals at Guantanamo Bay is ingenious. Now, I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. Now, you guys know Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain 7 times. The laser away pain treatment works on every type of pain that I've ever heard of. Arthritis, bronchial neuralgia, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, sciatica, strains and sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow, neck pain, stenosis. The list goes on. That's an incomplete list. And I'm learning about new pains all the time that I've never heard of from people. He's rid me of pain 7 times. Some of the pains are just from growing older, arthritis and such a couple of times, but some of them have just been injuries. I've had a couple accidents on the skateboard, which I have since retired. His laser away pain treatment is 100% painless. You don't even feel it. There's no drugs, no shots, no downtime. Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself, not an assistant, which is amazing. And appointments are not necessary, even on Saturdays. If you have x-rays, MRIs or something, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will take a look at them. And also, Dr. Appleton offers no charge consultations. So give him a call. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Okay, now, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome. But if you're flying in from out of town, which many listeners do, you can make an appointment. Appointments are not required, but you can make them, all right? AppletonCairo.com. Make sure you tell them I sent you and say bye-bye to your pain. All right. Callers on hold, hang in there. 2 hours down, 1 to go. Steve, I think, is joining us in the next hour. No, he's not joining it. I just got a text. No, Steve's taking today off. Okay. So you just got me flying solo in the next hour with you. So we'll go back to the calls after the top of the hour break. All right. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back right after this.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Thursday morning and into the afternoon, we will see a high of 75 degrees and should be sunny. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 70 degrees. Tomorrow, our Friday, will bring a high of 76 degrees and will be mostly sunny and breezy. Friday night will be mostly cloudy with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Your drive this morning in Palm Beach County has got some trouble over on Old Okeechobee Road between Frederick Street and Parker Tamaran as we have a vehicle versus train incident. Be sure to use Banyan Boulevard or Belvedere Road as an alternate. That's traffic. I'm Jamie Nunez.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This Sunday, February 2nd, PBKC features South Florida's premier sports card and memorabilia show with amazing vendors and a wide variety of all your favorite collectibles. Admission and parking are always free, and don't miss a single play on our sports TVs. PBKC is also your best bet for poker, table games, super OTB action, paddock shows, and exceptional eats. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445.
There we go. Coming back.
Thank you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Hour number 3 has begun. We're talking, of course, about the crash. Got a little more information. The Black Hawk helicopter had 3 soldiers on board. I guess that would include the 2 pilots. Okay, and yeah, a training mission does not mean the pilot was a training pilot, but so we get a little bit of information from the Pentagon spokesperson, but they've still not identified things. And I don't know, is the spokesperson at the Pentagon a new hire, like Caroline Leavitt at the White House, or we still got some Biden people around in that position? I do not know. All right, let's go back to our phones. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara in Baltimore.
Hey, Barbara.
Very tragic. Very sorry about, and just pray for the people, the families. But I heard about Guantanamo Bay. As a matter of fact, it was on True Social, mentioned on True Social about a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a great idea. It's a great idea. Now, my first thought was, you know, they have such a problem in Haiti that the Haitian president is seems to be afraid of those people, the aliens coming back to Haiti, because he said it would be chaotic, because they were pretty vicious, like barbecuing people and all that crap. And I thought about Guantanamo Bay for the Haitians and give the Haitian government some help in getting a hold of their crime. But Guantanamo Bay is a good idea. I think I'm glad he did it. As for the pilots, and it was the pilot, not the airplane was making a perfect landing, and so it seemed. But it was the pilot of the helicopter and the controller. What I can't understand is, why did the controllers ask him, do you see the plane? Instead, it should have been, you're about to hit a plane.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't.
Yeah.
Do you see the plane? I mean.
Well, what I bet you, what we'll probably get some stories that the military aircraft are on different frequencies than the civilians, and the tower couldn't communicate. I'm expecting something like that, because that's the kind of garbage they normally. But there was communication. That would be my first. That would be my first guess too. Yes.
Guess is that. My first guess is that.
Everybody's thinking it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone.
Well, I'm saying it because what happened there should not have happened, especially with that controller. I used to date a controller many years ago. A very stressful job. God, chronic high blood pressure like nothing I've ever seen before. But in that, they see everything. They have, what do you call it? You like a ping. Like they know on in front of them what's there. So he saw that. They had to see.
But we know, and President Trump talked about this. We know that the Black Hawk was flying directly towards the commercial jet. So the pilot and the Black Hawk, they saw everything. They knew where they were flying towards. And at that, when a plane's coming in like that, at that altitude, they got all their lights on. It's bright as hell. There's no way the helicopter pilot didn't see it.
You think terrorist attack?
It could. I don't know. Well, everything now is speculation. It could be It could be an attack. Yeah, it could be. It could be DEI. It could be an attack. It's certainly not competence.
Well, they didn't look. It looked deliberate, because as you're watching it, you're saying, pull up. To yourself, you're saying, well, pull up. Get out of the way.
Well, I gotta tell you, I am really expecting, and I don't know who am I to expect, but I'm expecting a press conference with Pete Hegseth there taking the lead, talking about it, because the Black Hawk he's the defense secretary, so the helicopter's one of his.
I like to say this before you go. Sean Duffy got sworn in less than 24 hours before this happened. And he handles himself so professionally. You know, President Trump's nominees, every single one of them.
Competence.
Knows these people. The competence, and they're being dragged through the mud by senators who don't hold a candle to their intelligence ability.
I wonder if Mayor Pete left that lactation machine behind in the Transportation Secretary's office.
I thought he was the first thing I thought about. There's Republicans who voted for him and for Rachel Levine. Rachel Levine, Republicans voted for, and he, I don't know what else to say.
Did you know that Rachel Levine and General Milley played on the same high school football team together?
Wouldn't surprise me. Same big boots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, what are the odds of that? All right, appreciate the call. Take care. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. I'm from Ohio. How you doing?
You sure about that? You seem a little vague about it. Around Ohio? What is that? You know, what are you in Pennsylvania? Kentucky?
It's like a weird kind of thing to ask, you know, somebody who's calling in trying to be safe and whatnot on the internet.
Nobody cares about you, lunatic.
Oh, thanks. Good. It's good. Appreciate it. That's true. Good reminder. Okay, same way that Trump doesn't give a shit about.
All right, now. Oh, well, first time we had to use the dump button today on the narcissist. Oh, my goodness. I was looking forward to talking to the narcissist around Ohio. Oh. You know, there's an epidemic of narcissism on the left. Have you noticed that? A major epidemic of narcissism. All right, our number, if you're on hold, stand by. I am waiting for the delay to re-engage. All right, we got to wait for the delay to re-engage. We'll go back to the phones. Our number is 888-465-2631. Listen, there's no doubt about it. There's the fault of this crash is the Black Hawk. There's no getting. I'm not saying the air traffic controller doesn't have some responsibility, but the primary responsibility is with the Black Hawk helicopter pilot, right? So what are the possibilities there? There's three possibilities with the Black Hawk helicopter pilot, right? Just totaling, and now keep in mind, the Black Hawk was flying towards the jet, according to President Trump and the video that's all over the news. General incompetence, a DEI hire, which is also incompetence, or it was on purpose. It's one of those three, right? Is there a fourth or a fifth option other than those? I don't think there are. Okay, delay is re-engaged. I hope. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, IB.
I'm not gonna go in circles with it, okay? Either you want to die or you don't want to die. The chopper pilot should know the routine in that area, know there's a flight path, it's a clear night, they had sufficient time to evade. It's pretty simple. They flew into it intentionally, and it could be rogue. As for Guantanamo Bay, President Trump's going to take it to the full max capacity. We don't want to have these people, the hardest core of the core, killing our people and raping our kids and doing whatever the heck they want in our country. He doesn't want them to have border lines where they can cross and come back. That's why we're going to put them in the hardcore place. It's Leavenworth. It's like Leavenworth for these guys. They can't get out of it, and they can't get off the island. He doesn't want them to have to.
Well, no, this thing about sending, I'm very excited about this, okay? President Trump sending the very scary, most dangerous illegals to Gitmo because he doesn't trust the home country that they're from to keep them. And he's afraid they might make their way back. Here's the thing, though. I didn't hear him say anything about what's the legal process. Is there going to be a trial, or what if they're acquitted? And, you know, how's it going to work? I'm curious.
It's my next point. He wants to put it there also so we can use our military court of justice. That way we take it out of the Democrats picking and choosing what judges they want in D.C. He's taking it away from them. He's putting it in the military.
Well, I remember when Bush sent the Al-Qaeda terrorists who were cutting heads off Americans and knocking down the World Trade Center and stuff, the left had meltdowns that the Al-Qaeda people were being sent to Gitmo. With these illegals, I haven't heard any meltdowns yet. Even before the plane crash, I heard zero reaction from the left on that.
He's taking it to full capacity. That means they're going to have pop-up tents over there. We don't want these guys getting away, and they're going to be like shoulder to shoulder, and these people are never going to see the day of light again. And there's nothing.
The day of light? You mean the light of day? I've never heard the day of light, but I like that better. The day of light. I like that. All right, take care, IB. I got it. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
Brian Craig.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
Business owner, or with a homeowners association. is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit like those other contractors do. Typical deposits other contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are they doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit, and HOAs, much longer. If they need money for the materials, they don't have credit with the suppliers, and that spells bad news for the homeowner or HOA. Tom Laporta is honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Contracting has been in the roofing and contracting business since 1988, and his services cover the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Tom Laporta can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
In South Florida, it's time to trade your morning commute for the open ocean and those bucket list destinations you've been dreaming of. Margaritaville at Sea is the talk of the sea and offering award-winning cruises full of live music, 5-star hospitality, crafted cocktails, and the ultimate island vibes. Now, the best sale of the year is here with 60% off all cruise fares, free 3rd and 4th guests, free stateroom upgrades, and onboard credit to make your escape unforgettable. Cruises to the Bahamas from Palm Beach for 2 start at just $99, or sail from Tampa Bay with exciting destinations on the all-new Margaritaville at Sea Islander. Whether it's a family getaway or a spontaneous trip for friends, paradise is calling. But hurry, these deals won't last. Book now at MargaritavilleAtSea.com and let that island adventure begin.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Donna from Jupiter. I'm calling to share my great experience with Jupiter Joe. My husband and I started listening to you a few years ago, and that's when we learned about Jupiter Joe Thomas. We're seniors with no pension and collect Social Security. All our investments were in stocks and IRAs until we heard about Jupiter Joe. Speaking of having your money work for you. So we got in touch with him, and he went above and beyond trying to locate all our diversifications. He answered all our questions clearly and returned every phone call. He recommended an annuity to get a safe monthly income for life. So I just want to tell everyone, if you're in need of additional income, especially with the high cost of everything these days, please call Joe Thomas. It's no cost to you. He is so professional, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and you can put total confidence in him. My husband and I can't say enough good things about Jupiter Joe and his staff.
I want to thank you for your kind words for Jupiter Joe Thomas. If you want to call Joe Thomas, I'm going to give you his number. It's a no-charge consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. At All Year, we offer same-day AC service and installation. Need to stay cool? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833 all year. That's 833 all year.
For a limited time, save up to 30% off new air conditioners and repairs with All Year Cooling.
This is Dr. Phil Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, if you have bursitis, if you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation. And
What's the worst call?
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation
Am I the only one who it feels like Friday too?
Necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays.
It's sad.
954-973-0710. 954-973-0710 and online appletoncairo.com.
Now back Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, it's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dave from Detroit.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, one of the possibilities I haven't heard yet is the Black Hawk helicopter pilot might have been one of Pete Higgs's drunk buddies, drinking all day, partying.
Yeah, maybe you haven't heard. Maybe the reason you haven't heard that is because that's an idiotic thing to say.
No. It's a possibility.
The possibility, possibility, yeah. That's as possible as you getting a job. I just saw during that guy, I should have looked. That guy was on hold for over half an hour. Well over half an hour. For that? What the heck? I just saw another video of the collision of the Black Hawk in the jet. And this one, it was from an angle I had not seen before, and it was very high quality video. That jet was lit up like the sun. I mean, it had all lights on every which way but loose. It was lighting the city. It was so bright. And you could see that helicopter, which is virtually all black, going right towards it. Boom. And I got to tell you something. That cannot just be regular incompetence. Does that look like it was intended? Hey, I know this is not a nice thing to say, but that plane, you could see that plane better at night than you did during the day. It was lit up so much. How many times, I can't tell you, when I was younger, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and they moved things around now because, all this, things used to be much cooler, and then all these, snooty liberals took over. But at Fort Lauderdale Airport, you used to be able to just drive right to the end of the runway where the planes would fly right over you. It was kind of like that beach in Aruba, but it was Fort Lauderdale Airport. Any of you guys remember doing that? Now their viewing area is off to the side. It sucks. But it used to be the planes would fly right over you and take off too. They take off east or west depending on which way the winds are and all that stuff. And it was so cool. And when I was in high school, my friends and I, we'd get some beer, we'd go down to the airport, and we would just sit out on the hood of our cars and watch and the planes are like you're right at the end of the runway. It was pretty cool. And we used to sit and watch, and you could see, because at night, you do this at night. You can do it during the day too, but it's better at night. And you could, you would look, and you can do this today. You can do this part today if you're near the Fort Lauderdale Airport. You can look west, right, towards the Everglades at Fort Lauderdale Airport, and as far as the eye can see, due west, you see the lights of the planes. They're in a line to come in, and then if you look, and it's a clear night like it was in D.C. last night, you look to the north, and you can see the lights of the planes coming from the north before they turn. And planes at night are so bright, it's blinding. It really, truly is. It's and this new video I just saw, it's not blurry at all. I don't know if did I retweet it. If I did, I'm sure it's going to be all over everywhere. I might have retweeted. If not, I'll try. I'll see if I can during the next break. It is. The plane is lit up so much you could see it from miles away, and you see that helicopter going towards it. It looked to be almost all lights out on the helicopter. And the helicopter was, it looked like it was going at a high rate of speed. The helicopter wasn't just there hovering and it got hit. It was actually moving towards the light. You know, this is like Carol Ann and Poltergeist. You run away from the light. You don't fly into the light in a situation like that. So I don't know, man, but let me tell you, luckily we have Pete Hegseth, we have Sean Duffy, and we have President Trump. And we're going to get the answer to what happened here. If the old crew was still in charge, we wouldn't know jack, just like the drones. You're on the air. Yeah, yes. Oh, Tom, yes. All right.
Well, I mean, we don't agree on many things, but that last gentleman inquiring or saying, making an accusation that the military will let somebody fly drones, that is a disgrace. That guy should have another shot.
Oh, I'm surprised because the guy's such an idiot. I thought you would relate and connect to him, see a little bit of yourself in him.
There you go. You know what I mean? There you go with your petty, stuff. But the Black Hawk was going down, making a landing. The aircraft.
The Black Hawk was making a landing. Have you seen the video? Yeah. Have you seen the video? The Black Hawk was not going. The Black Hawk. It was not going down to make a landing. It was flying right towards the plane.
Well, these FAA people that we have in these towers are inexperienced. They do not make them like they used to anymore. I both know that with anything in the country today.
I know, including callers, and this is an example of it. You're like a DEI caller.
Well, DEI caller, or you could just be a nice guy.
No, I remember days. I every once in a while a caller will challenge me, but I'm.
Challenge you. I'm not. What am I getting?
You're not or capable.
Or capable. You get it. There you go, Brian. You are so superior. I mean, you got your.
No, I'm not superior. I'm not superior. You're just below average and inferior. So you make everyone seem superior.
Stand up and stretch your legs, pal. Okay, you're sitting on your ass too long.
I'm Oh, he hung up. No, I'm standing. I stand when I'm on the air. I don't sit down on the air. All right. Oh boy, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Mitch from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Mitch, what's up?
Actually, I'm a private pilot, and you were talking about visibility of the airplanes, and actually, it's a little different when you're in the air because when you're flying, you could be looking down, and there's all the city lights are there, and that plane.
Now, I know you got all that light noise and stuff, but have you seen the video that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen it, but
okay.
If you have all these lights in the background. It's really hard.
No, the helicopter if you saw what kind of plane do you fly, by the way?
That's the 172.
Oh man, I don't like is that like a single engine? Yeah, I've never flown in a single. I've flown in a twin engine prop plane. I'll never do it again. The turbulence in those small planes is I flew in a twin engine in Peru. I filled every barf bag up on the plane. Everyone. I was sitting in the plane holding my vomit through the whole thing. But it was, where are you going to put it? Can't throw it out over the Nazca lines. But no. If you saw the video I've seen, that was like the sun, that plane. And I know what you're talking about with light noise, and I get that. But and it was, they were close, and it's going straight towards the light. There's no way. There's no way. No way. No.
Just looking out when the city lights are all there, and you're.
No, listen, and we're dealing with military pilots. I mean, we're not dealing with private pilots like you. Like JFK Jr. killed himself because he was flying an aircraft he wasn't qualified for at a time when he shouldn't have been flying solo at night. So he couldn't tell up or down. I get that. But in the military, we have we used to have higher standards than that. So no, I don't agree. If you look at if you've not seen it, you will. It's a new video. I wouldn't say that it's in 4K, but it's pretty close to HD. It's very clear. You can see the helicopter and you can see the plane. They're close together. There's no mistaking that that's an aircraft in front of that helicopter, and the helicopter was going right to it. So no, it's yeah. Well, don't do any of that until not. Do it not until after 9:30. Okay, you gotta keep the radio station on until after. Okay, come on, come on, guys. All right. Well, let's take. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane.
Okay. Hey, how's it going? Is there anything in particular you want me to bring up to you?
I want to talk about pensions real quick.
Okay.
And how annuities are really a pension.
Okay.
And I'm gonna blow your mind for a minute. My dad was a helicopter crew chief and flew Dwight Eisenhower.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And
what, in California?
In California, Hawaii.
Mm.
My dad actually had a crash.
When he was retired?
No, while he was back in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, when he was president?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was one of the official guys that flew him.
Wow.
The white, the white helicopter, the white top.
Yeah, they didn't have what they got now. It was
Right,
different.
Right. And interesting enough, there was actually a crash.
Yeah.
Not that I want to bring it up, it's just funny this thing was happening. I was thinking about it. I was like, I got to tell Brian.
I would never fly in a helicopter.
No.
Forget about it. And the small planes?
No way.
No freaking way.
Just
You've been in small planes?
They're not fun.
Up and down and sideways. It's.
My wife's been in a. She one time she flew up to North Carolina. Then she took a plane to Wilmington, and then back. I'm like, I could never do this little tiny thing, like 6-seater, 8-seater.
Oh, I got friends all the time. They're asking, "Oh, well, I'll take you up." I'm not going up in nothing.
You know? No way.
No way.
I'm a landlubber, man.
No small planes for me. I always wanted to do it until I did it, and it was not what I was expecting.
I don't want this,
Well, the planes are so the small planes are so light.
Yeah.
And have you ever flown in a small jet?
No.
It's like they turn. It's like a fighter jet. I don't like any of that. I don't like any of that. And the big planes, they fly so fast when there's bad air, they go through it.
Yeah.
The small jets, it takes them longer. It's a mess.
Yeah.
No, I'll never do that again either.
No. It's like my mother-in-law said one time I was going to take her out on my little boat. She's like, unless it's a cruise ship, I'm not going.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, no, forget it.
Hey, that Money Minute thing sounds good. We're going to do.
Yeah, are we doing that today?
No, I'm not prepared today.
Okay, no, that's fine.
We'll start next week. My daughter wrote like 50 of them. We'll just do like 60 seconds. Well, I think it's going to really do well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, that was Vic's idea.
Oh, okay. Was it?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea.
Cool.
There's a lot of repetition to that.
Absolutely. We get that 5 days a week. I think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Be good. Be good.
Well, it's a big decision to turn over your money to somebody. So what we're going to pensions?
Yeah.
And there was something else you said.
Just 401ks and how what happened. See, what happened was, 401ks became the new pension because it was cheaper for companies.
Okay, and you were talking about something I saw on your Instagram about taxes and annuities.
So they're tax deferred vehicles. So you can
I was going to bring that up to you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So people talk about reducing taxes in Roth IRA.
That's all I think about are the taxes.
Taxes stink.
Freaking taxes.
Well, we could talk about that, but the problem with taxes is you're not going to get rid of them. That's really the problem.
I don't know, Trump, this thing, I think he wants to get rid of the income tax.
I hope to God he does.
Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, free money.
There'd be parties in the street. All right, callers on hold, stand by. Joe Thomas is here. Talk a little bit about annuities. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Hey, good.
You were telling me, though, something during the break that was interesting that's kind of related to this terrible news. But and I thought this was pretty cool thing that your dad used to fly President Eisenhower around.
Yeah, in the late 50s and 60s.
So that's like when he was president.
Yeah.
And
My father was a helicopter crew chief back then. Remember they used to have the presidential helicopters? It was all white on top.
Yeah.
He flew one of those with Eisenhower.
That was people don't understand Eisenhower because he was probably he was huge because of the war and everything else. I mean, he was as famous as Trump is. When Eisenhower was living, he was more famous than Trump.
He was president for 8 years too.
Yeah, and he won the war and all that. There's a really good documentary that Walter Cronkite did with Eisenhower after he was president, and I know this is on YouTube. It was for CBS News. It's called D-Day plus 20 years, and President Eisenhower goes from his headquarters in England through Normandy and walks through the whole events, and it's called D-Day plus 20 years. And it was 20 years later, he wasn't president anymore, and it was before Kennedy was, well, I know, Kennedy was dead in 64, so Johnson was president. And he remembered everything like this. You guys should go and watch that. You would enjoy that. You got that Eisenhower. So anyway, talking about annuities, I was mentioning earlier with you, I had people explain annuities to me before I knew you, but I didn't understand what they were saying. And and when we first met, you explained annuities to me in about 60 seconds. Right. I totally understood them, and I learned more all the time from you. And we were talking during the break, and you were saying that an annuity is really it's a pension.
It is. Yep, it's pretty simple. I mean, in the old days, we'll go back 15, 20, 25 years, people used to get a gold watch when they retired and a pension plan. Now, all state employees and municipal employees get a pension plan. And they're kind of happy with it, let me put it that way. Some pensions are good, some pensions aren't. But what the companies have done is they switched over to 401ks because it was cheaper for them to manage. And they got a piece of the action. So anyway, the long story short, all a pension is an annuity.
Yeah.
It's an insurance company paying you for income for life.
And the Florida lottery is an annuity as well, right?
When you win a lawsuit in Florida, if it's $1 million, they're going to give you $50,000 a year for 20 years, which is a lottery or an annuity.
So because annuities, there's no risk.
No,
the money's safe.
Yep. The ones we offer, we only offer fixed and fixed index annuities with an income rider. 100% safe in that you cannot lose your money if you don't want it to go down. And secondly, you can have income for life for you and your spouse.
Income for life. That's question about the annuities, because when you were here the other day, you were talking. A lot of people think you have to be rich, and you can't be rich and have a lot of money, but you need as little as, what did you say, 10,000?
10,000, 25,000.
20. Yeah. So let me ask you, how does it work? So if somebody has 10,000 or 500,000. Do they get one annuity, or do they get two, or do they get three? How do you do that?
So the bigger the amount, the more annuities we're going to do, because we're going to diversify within annuities. We might have, if you had a lady come in 750,000, we put 3 different annuities at 250,000 each. Now you don't have to have that much. You could be with 75,000. Hey Joe, I like this annuity, which is income, and I want one to grow. So you can have an income one and a growth one for 25,000 each.
But sometimes, because of tax reasons, some people say, well, I don't want more income, right?
Correct. Then we're going to defer your income, and we're talking off mic about how you can reduce taxes. An annuity, if you don't take the interest, it accumulates tax deferred, and you can put off the taxes for years and years and years.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and listen, a lot of the rich people actually put these products called tax deferred products, annuities and life insurance. They're doing it for the tax purpose, not necessarily for the investment vehicle.
Yeah.
For taxes.
I don't know why everyone's not doing this.
It's knowledge. You have to know about these things. It's like anything else in life. You don't know it all. That's why my book's called Retirement Know-It-All. Not that I know it all, but because people think they do.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this sounds pretty good to me. So I think a good way to look at it is like a pension, because you got that income coming in.
Yes, sir.
And and you were telling me a couple weeks ago, and this because I was there's everybody has something different in mind, right? They're at a different income level. They have different plans for their retirement. And I'd asked you, if somebody who's a high net worth person, or somebody who's just, somebody that, we were talking about the nice lady from Publix recently,
Right.
what do they, and you said everybody wants another revenue stream.
Look, nobody turns down more income. And it's figuring out how to take money that's sitting in a bank account doing nothing, or maybe it's in your 401k. How do you take income from a 401k? Most people don't know. In fact, 99% of them don't know how to turn their money into income. And that's what I help clients do.
Now, a couple things I want to talk about here, because this is very, very important. And maybe I stress, you can tell me if I stress this too much, because I don't think I do, because I've been in this situation myself. Okay? If you have a financial advisor that you're not making money with, you're losing money with, people don't like to call their finance. First off, you got a guy like that, that's hard to get him on the phone. But people, it's like breaking up with a girlfriend, breaking up with a bad financial, isn't it?
It's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
Well, you trust the person with your life savings, and then you got to figure out how to get it away from them. So we take care of it for you, Brian.
Yeah, so they meet with you, you give them they have that no-charge consultation, you give them a custom proposal, they like what they hear, they want to go with you, they just sign a form, and then you get everything transferred for them. They don't even have to do the breakup.
One form, no taxes, no fees, no charges, and we break up for you.
No fees?
No fees.
Well, really?
Charges. Yeah.
So, okay, so tell me about that, because I like that too.
Whenever we move from...
That's like free. I like, when I hear no fees, I like this.
Wherever you're coming from money-wise, we're going to take it for you, we're going to get it over to us, and we're not going to charge you a fee for doing that. $0. We get a commission directly from the insurance company. They pay us out of their pocket, not yours. So we're compensated by the insurance company. Doesn't
Really?
come out of your pocket, yes, sir.
Wait a minute, okay, so annuities are, it's insurance, right? Some by
It's
insurance
an
companies.
product, just like a life or an, auto home insurance.
So you get okay. So someone comes to you. They decide that they want an annuity. You get paid not by them. You get paid by the insurance company.
Correct. Out of their pockets, not yours.
That's amazing, because with financial advisors, I always call these guys product pushers. I always call that, because they have their sales meeting, and their manager tells them what they got to do, and they get a commission every time they make a transaction.
Right. And they charge you a fee of 1 to 2%.
Yeah, so they don't really care if it's a good investment for you, because they want that commission, but you're not driven by that.
No, we're making money when you decide to do something, but again, it's coming out of the company's pocket, not yours.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we could be fee-based, we decided not to, and...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could be fee-based, charge you money, but I don't do that.
Oh, so there are people that do what you do, but they charge a fee?
Yeah, some do both. Some get commission and charge you a fee.
Oh, my
There's
goodness.
a lot of, I don't like to talk about that side of the business. There's some crazy stuff.
You must not have a lot of friends in that business. They must hate you. All right, listen, give Joe Thomas a call. Set up that free consultation, all right? And he will give you a custom proposal. And, that's important, because everyone's at a different place in life. Everyone's in a different place in income, and everybody has different plans, goals, and wants and needs. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, his website is the easiest website in the world to remember, jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk soon. All right, thanks for coming by. All right, we are back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Now, of course, we're primarily talking about the plane crash, because that's what's in the news. I mean, and there are important things to say. But those of you who have seen this new video of the collision that is in a higher quality, with the plane lit up and the helicopter flying towards the plane, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I don't see any way, shape, form, or story that helicopter did not see where they were flying. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? A couple things. Plane crashed in Washington.
No, I know. I've been listening to the whole thing. I wake up every morning and turn the news on. I have to be at work at 6 a.m.
Mm.
But listen, I just wanted to run this on. I 2 years ago, friendly fire.
Mm.
I was the guy. I was speaking to you with my friends. We were out there talking, and you were actually getting the tires and everything for your daughter to get ready for going to California.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know. I could lie to you and say yes to make you feel good, but I don't. I'm sorry. I do remember talking to you, but I don't remember what I do remember now that we're talking, and yes, I do remember now. I do remember. Yes, I do. Now that you've refreshed you see, I needed a little reminder, and yes, I do remember the conversation with you. Yes, it took a minute. Oh, well, thank you. No, but I did not, until you jogged my memory. I do remember the conversation now, because I remember when I got my daughter those tires, the Firestone tires, yes. Time flies.
Life is so short. I take every day with like a gift of God, because you know what? Unfortunately, those people lost their lives, and I'm so happy just to even be here right now.
Well, I'll tell you, you get to this point in life okay, where this, and I did not come up with this line, okay? This is not some brilliant wisdom I've come up with. This is actually from an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Captain Picard, okay? He says, I'm at a point where I know there are fewer days ahead than there are behind, right? And that's kind of, it sucks, but, you get to that age where all the people you grew up with start dying, all the celebrities and stuff. You grew up in Homestead? Are you white? Wow, and you grew up in Homestead? What's that about? Ah. No, he didn't steal him. He was bribed. His daughter, Senator Menendez's daughter is one of the weekend anchors on MSNBC, and she's a nasty person. But the thing with Menendez, I almost feel bad for that guy. Because what is he doing that's, like yesterday, Elizabeth Warren was getting nasty with Bobby Kennedy. Elizabeth Warren has taken millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry, millions. What did Menendez do that Elizabeth Warren isn't doing, or all the rest? So why is he going to prison for 11 years? Well, they all take bribes. Sometimes it's in stock options. Sometimes they give a relative or a spouse a fake job. He took his in gold bars, but I know what he's thinking. Why am I going to prison? Everybody's doing it, right? Well, listen, I got to run, but I do remember. If I did not remember you, I would not tell you. Oh, yeah, you saw me buying the tires. Yes, exactly. You saw me buying the tires. All right, we'll take our break and be back. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
The metals are looking great. The markets are right up against all-time record highs again, and it looks like we are going to make new highs either by tomorrow or certainly by next week. It looks very bullish for the metals. Yesterday we saw gold trade in a range of $2,741 all the way up to $2,768, closing out the day at $2,757.70, down $5.30. Silver was up 44 cents at $30.78 the ounce. Platinum closed up $5 at $9.46, and palladium was up $10 at $9.47. This morning we've seen gold trade in a range of $2,756 all the way up to $2,785. And right now we're at $2,783 the ounce. That's up $25.30 this morning. Silver up 46 cents, $31.25 the ounce. Platinum up $18 at $9.64, and palladium up $31 at $9.78. So the metals are doing just fine.
Wow, what's the gold record high?
Right around this number, right around 786. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right up against it. It's the second time this week that we've been up against the all-time record high.
That's amazing. So all the gold's a good buy right now, and you were talking about how the premiums are doing so good that these are good premium buys, even at higher prices. It's a good deal. Now, all the prices are done by ounce, but you don't have to buy gold in an ounce. You can buy it for less or more. But there's really gold for almost every budget, right? Can you tell people a little bit about the other sizes of gold other than an ounce?
Yeah, we have half ounce, quarter ounce, 10th ounce coins, and then we also have bars that go as small as 1 gram. So that's 1/31st or 1/32nd of an ounce of gold. So you can get fractional bars, 1 gram, 2 grams, 5 grams. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah, and gold's gold. But above an ounce too, you know, in the bar size, because you do offer that in the gold bar size. What do you have available? I know you have the small ones. You have 1 ounce bars. But do people buy gold bars that are bigger than an ounce?
Oh yes, we have the very popular 10-ounce gold bars and also the kilo gold bars, which are 32.15 ounces. So we do have all different sizes.
Yeah, and that's, well, you hear that, guys? Yeah, that's the Christmas bonus bar that Steve gives me every year, that kilo. But you know, I just want to tell people that we price it in the ounces because that's how the markets do. But there really is, because of the different sizes, there's gold available for pretty much any budget. I mean, when I was mowing grass in middle school, I could afford these smaller sizes with even that. And gold is gold. All right, give William Youngman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both William Youngerman's address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngman, we'll finish out the week. How do we get that? Maybe we'll hit the record high by then. Yep. All right, take it. All right, we are back, and boy, that's good news. I mean, somebody the other day said, "Is today a good day to buy gold?" I said, "Every day is a good day to buy gold." All right, 1-888-465-2631 is our number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, JJ.
You know, this. I'm looking at the possibilities of this. I think it's going to end up being human error. You have, the helicopter. You've got 3 guys in there. And if they're all, if everybody's DEI, your eyesight still works, right? I mean, they might be a little slow on the books, and they might not be the best pilot, but for Christ's sake, if, you're looking out the window, you can see, oh, look at the flashing lights on the big jet. Let's go to the left, let's go down,
Well, most every time there's an aircraft incident, most every time it's some type of human error at some point. So, I mean, that's a little, but... To me, for the helicopter to fly into the bright light like that's beyond just regular human error.
I tell you what, it does look, when I watched the video, I haven't seen the new one that you're talking about, but I saw the old one, and it looks like it looks like a friggin' missile. It looks like it's almost impossible for it to hit. In other words, it almost has to be on purpose.
And, it's not easy because when a plane like that, I don't know about this size of a plane, but it's got to be going somewhere around between 160 and 200, and to hit, so it's coming in at a high rate of speed. It's also descending, so it's not just it's moving ahead and down. And I remember when when I was a kid, I used to hunt, with my dad, and I remember hunting doves, and this is how I learned how to hunt. And you'd have to shoot in front of the dove, and it because of the the time for the shot to get to it, right? And it's and I when I first used to go on cruises, they had skeet. I was great at skeet. They don't have skeet shooting on cruise ships anymore. I missed that on the back, and I was always good with the skeet because I learned how to shoot the doves. You shoot ahead of the skeet, just a slight, And for this helicopter flying towards this plane that's going 160 plus miles an hour straight ahead and descending, and to hit it, I mean, that's not an easy hit.
It takes a lot of coincidences. You almost have to be. It's really mathematically the probability is almost like it has to be on purpose. I'll tell you this too. I heard that from some aviation people. I mean, I've been looking at this for the past 8 hours. Somebody told me that the ADSB, which is sort of like their proximity alarm, radar is like 5 to 10 seconds it updates, but this ADSB is the internal. It updates every second, and it was off, and that's for that being off means that their proximity alert, collision alert, flash is going off. So they may have all been. If this was a training mission, they're up in the air. It's a lazy, it's a beautiful night, no worries. They're all looking at the instruments, and nobody's looking up, and all of a sudden, bang. because the collision alerts would not have gone off because of that.
Well, and I'll tell you another thing. Anyone who's been to Washington, there are always military helicopters flying all over D.C. Because you know why. Yeah. But this helicopter, to me, in this new video, was completely dark. Like everything was shut off, all the lights. I mean, there's.
I want to know
by the airport.
Yeah, I don't want to let exactly. I mean, they've got to know. There's runways, right? I mean, how do you not know all these things? So it's were these people? It's hard for me to believe that all three might have been.
It's not easy to hit a moving target at that rate of speed. It's a bullet.
I mean, were they pissed off about Milley and DEI and the trans changes that Trump was bringing? I mean, is that possible? Yes, but I just have a hard time believing that all three of them were
Wait, and I'll just tell you as we tick down to the end of this, obviously I was going to talk about the plane crash today because it's in the news. I'm obligated to talk about it. But the reason I focus so much on this DEI is I got up really early this morning to watch the coverage because I need to be informed, and it's a breaking news story. And they have experts and retired NTSB and pilots and aviators and all this stuff. And they say, well, drones, pilot error. And I'm thinking, nobody's mentioning DEI, even on Fox. And I'm like, come on.
DEI is definitely got to be on the menu as far as everything that went wrong here. I mean, the one lady called up and said that air traffic control told the helicopter to return to base. And what? They didn't hear that? They were on a different frequency. They got the ADBS tracking off.
But never listen. The government, even in the military, the government workers. I remember when Obama was president, they did something that caused a panic in the city of New York. They did, during the day in New York City when Obama was president, so we're in the post 9/11 world, and the people, and we're talking about 2010, so most New Yorkers lived through 9/11 at that time, walking the streets, and had trauma. They did an exercise. Do you remember what they did with Air Force One? No, what they did is during the day, they did a dogfight between Air Force One and a fighter jet. And the fighter jet was chasing Air Force One during the day, during the week over New York City. A fighter jet was chasing Air Force One, and Air Force One was flying low over the city, making evasive maneuvers. And people thought, that it was 9/11 part 2, and people were evacuating skyscrapers. There was panic, and I remember seeing the video and the photos, and we're like, how could government workers? So never underestimate the stupidity of government workers to schedule exercises in stupid places. And by the way, if you're not familiar with that Air Force One incident that I'm just talking about, I'm sure there's video of it online. I mean, and that fighter jet was right on the tail of Air Force One as Air Force One it was like a movie. I mean, it was nuts. And they didn't tell anybody in New York that they were doing it. They just did it.
They just did it. One last ADSB tracking. The one thing that it wouldn't show for the helicopter that there was going to be a collision, but it also wouldn't tell the jet that was landing. If that would have been on, the jet may have been able to, even though it was on the way down, they could have powered up, gone around, or whatever. So there's a lot of positive.
Well, if you remember, I was talking earlier. I only have seconds left, but in I don't remember that flight in the one they made the movie about with Burgess Meredith. There was one of the crashes in the Everglades in the early 70s. A plane. There was a major crash in the Everglades at night, flying into Miami. And that was, it was determined that there was a burned out taillight on the instrument panel of the pilots, and they were getting false instrument readings because some of the light bulbs were burned out. So minor things can cause a lot of death and a lot of tragedy. But I'm going to stick with the most likely cause of this is DEI, but it may not be. We'll find out. All right, take care. All right, appreciate the call. I want to talk about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. This guy that they got in New York, the head of the gang, You know what I'm talking about? Christy Nome led the raid. He's one of the guys that they got on the doorbell camera in Colorado. He was the one holding the rifle. And I'm sure you've seen that footage this week. It's very good footage. Him holding the rifle. That was taken off of a doorbell camera. Get your free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is going to also give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for the doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, a backup battery, and, yeah, I know it's a good deal, and a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Here's the number. It's easy to remember. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right, we're out of time for today. Tomorrow is Open Phones, Open Mega Mike Friday tomorrow. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. That's tomorrow. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on Open Mega Mike Friday. Take care.
WSFS 104.3.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. All right, I'll see you next time.